Welcome back, everyone, to Bob Stein Stadium here at the beautiful Lynn Cottrell Park on a beautiful Saturday evening here in the Gold City of Dahlonega. We've got game number 2 up next here of our doubleheader on the Nighthawk Sports Network between North Georgia and Lincoln Memorial. Game 1 ending about 45 minutes ago, where we saw LMU take the second game of this 4-game series 6-4, completely the opposite of what we saw from them in Game 1 last night, where the Nighthawks won that one 9-1. Then LMU ties it up at 6 with a 6-4 win, ties the series up at 1-1, and it was really the end of the game that was a big X factor for LMU in that ball game. And specifically, I think you got to bring it back to their pitching as well for the Rail Splitters, Ryan. It was just really solid throughout.
Yeah, it was really good there towards the end of the game. Carter White came in, went 4 2/3 innings. He was just fantastic from the word go out of the bullpen, and obviously North Georgia missed a few opportunities down the stretch of that game. They're looking to rebound here in Game 2. We got about a half hour off between the two, and we're about to get things rolling here for the second part of this doubleheader.
Yeah, plenty of action. Getting your fill here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Again, glad to have you all with us this afternoon. Alongside Ryan Hutchison, Robert DiClementi on hand for you tonight as we take a look at the starting lineups for both of these teams. North Georgia's is relatively the same, except now you got Bryson Stripling catching for North Georgia, and then in at the DH position is going to be Kyle Robish. We saw Robish taking over behind the plate in our first game of the day earlier this afternoon. Now he's been slotted in at the DH, and Lincoln Memorial's lineup has shifted a bit, but it's all the same players from what we saw in Game 1 earlier today. And getting the start on the mound for North Georgia is Luke Earnhardt, transfer from Middle Tennessee State from Rabun Gap, Georgia. And if that last name Earnhardt sounds familiar to you, it's because it does. From the women's basketball team, Josie Earnhardt, a sharpshooter for many years here at the University of North Georgia, played under Coach Buffy and was a part of that team that made the Final Four back in 2022. So her brother is repping the NG here for the baseball team, and his first pitch as a Nighthawk is going to be a ball to start this game out.
Yeah, he posted a 6.75 ERA at Middle Tennessee State last year, had 2 strikeouts in his appearances, had only 4 innings, so gets the ball here in game number 2 and looking to be the starter in this bounce back for North Georgia.
He's got Chris Hall up first, who has led off, of course, every game for LMU here in this series. It's a strike right down the middle there to get back into the count.
Yeah, Hall started off the last game with a screaming double over Rispero in left field.
And they've held him quiet, I think, since then. He only went 1 for 5 in that game, and for the most part, North Georgia was able to do away with him from there on out. But, yeah, he definitely is no stranger to hot starts, as this one takes a hop, skip, and a jump in front of Philip Ard, and he's able to tag the bag for out number 1.
Good job by Earnhardt there, making sure that Hall doesn't find his way on to start the game. Obviously, we saw what that can do with the 2-run home run from Caston Harvey. So nice job there, making sure that that doesn't happen to open up this game.
And Harvey, because of that 2-run bomb in the first game of the day, has moved up to second in the batting order. Was third behind Epperson, the DH. In the previous game, takes a big crack at it there, but misses for the strike.
Don't think he was expecting off-speed out of Earnhardt right there, first pitch. And how could you expect off-speed out of an Earnhardt?
The 0-1, a couple of really good pitches, now 0-2.
And Harvey, one of those hitters like we talk about with Art all the time. It doesn't matter the count, 2 strikes. He's still going to swing as aggressive as always.
Nation's leaders in doubles last year isn't going to get a chance as Skipper connects to Ard for out number 2.
No complaints so far out of the new arm for the Nighthawks. 2 pretty simple outs, 2 ground outs, 1 to Ard, 1 to Skipper.
Nighthawks also making a wardrobe change. They got the all-white unis on for Game 2 this afternoon. Definitely strategic, I think, to have these in this game compared to
Yeah.
what we had yesterday. Would have been quite the experience for the laundry person if they were wearing the all whites yesterday.
Works better for us, too. Now we have two completely different looks. The first one were a little similar, but
This is going to be dropped in the outfield, and LMU is going to keep this inning alive.
so a 2-out double right there for Kowalski, and can't be unhappy with that if you're Earnhardt. Really soft contact, just fell into a no man's land, kind of a Bermuda Triangle out there behind shortstop. Looked like Arisbro was going to be able to get there. Heard him call off the center fielder, Apata, but just out of his reach.
Count's now going to be 1-0. Got a runner on second for the Rail Splitters here at this point in the game. We saw them aggressive early in game number 1 today, as looks like the umps are going to have a little bit of a discussion here in the infield.
Not 100% certain what they're discussing.
The momentum definitely had slowed down a little bit here, but just a quick discussion. Just make sure everybody's, still on the same page, still locked in. Had a little bit of a break in between to see, just keeping everybody on their toes.
Yeah, that's one of those things that, you don't really think about watching the game, but for Earnhardt out there, you got 2 really quick outs, a double that really wasn't really earned, and then a sudden stoppage in play stops your momentum. So
this ball is blasted into foul territory. Nighthawks don't look like they're going to be able to make a play on it. Takes a couple bounces next to Coleman. So it'll be another swing of the bat here for Sam Mass, who is making his first appearance this afternoon. Started game 1 last night, and then got a little bit of a break here in game 2, as Simmons filled in for him in the lineup. And the 1-1 from Earnhardt. This one is grounded into left field, and LMU threatening to take the 1-0 lead yet again. The throw is off the mark to home plate, and the Rail Splitters again lead this one 1-0. Very similar to what we saw in the first game of today, as Kowalski, the first baseman, comes home.
yeah, and it's interesting because that double obviously wasn't a hard hit ball that puts a runner in scoring position, and that was really a routine ground ball. Didn't have a lot of speed on it, and that's why they were able to score Kowalski from second base, because there just wasn't really a chance for Arisbro to make it happen. Closer play than anticipated, but it got away from Stripling at home plate and allows the Rail Splitters to get on the board first.
This pitch from Earnhardt is going to be low for ball 1. Earnhardt still got his eye on second. Brings it down to 5 seconds in the pitch clock and pitches it low, but Stripling trying to get it to second.
Almost got him on that back pick. That throw went a little bit to the right of the bag. If you'd have positioned that on the left, I think that Mast would have been gone. And you see that a bit out of the Rail Splitters in the last game. They're really aggressive at second base. They're almost asking the North Georgia catchers to back pick over there, but so far they've been able to get away with it.
There isn't really anybody there in the area. You got Jace, who is kind of drifting back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, catcher out there running, not really worried about him getting a big lead and taking third or scoring on a hard hit ball. So you're not going to hold him very strong. Really nice pitch there from Luke in the dirt was just enough to get Epperson to go around at it.
Makes the count 2-2. Deuces across the board. As Earnhardt takes a step back.
It's the first time we've seen Epperson get moved down in the lineup from that 2 spot. Batting 5th in this game. The first 2 games he was the second hitter for the Rail Splitters, so a bit of a lineup change.
Yeah, still the DH, but Earnhardt takes care of him there. LMU leaves the top of the first with a 1-0 lead over the Nighthawks. Nighthawks responded with a big home run from Andrew Sopata last time out in the bottom of the first. We'll see what he and the Nighthawks can do when we come back from this short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
At the heart of America's gold rush stands a beacon of leadership, tradition, and excellence. A university that has always led the way, forging an environment for broad-based academics, world-class athletics, and tomorrow's military leaders. The University of North Georgia. Learning and leadership. Passion and preparation. Transformation and tradition. We are the University of North Georgia.
Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network for Game 2 of our doubleheader here on the NSN. Nighthawks getting ready to bat here in the bottom of the first. LMU took the lead 1-0 in the top of the first inning. And the pitcher that the Nighthawks are going to have to face here coming out here in the third game of this 4-game series, sophomore out of Shelby County, Kentucky, Carter White. Number 55 is making his debut here with LMU. A lot of pitchers here for the Rail Splitters have been making their debut this weekend, but they look like they have just really fit in.
He was a real effective arm last year, 3.79 ERA, 1.47 WHIP. Only pitched 19 innings, but he was able to rack up 12 strikeouts there, so a good ERA. You expect him to keep the ball low in the zone against this North Georgia powerful lineup. And he really has to start here with keeping Andrew Sopata off the base pads. And you know Opata's going to come out here with a vengeance. Was the final out in the bottom of the 10th inning to end Game 1, so he didn't have to wait long for another chance at it.
So Carter White actually a player who's been around this LMU program for quite some time, now in his 3rd season with the Rail Splitters, making his 3rd start with LMU. Started a pair of games last year. We'll see how he fares against Andrew Sopata. Opata just watches that one go past him for ball 1. If you tuned in for Game 1 of our doubleheader today, first pitch that Opata saw, let it fly, and in the blink of an eye, this game was tied back up at 1-1. That ball got lost between the 390 and 365 markers out there in the outfield.
Yeah, Carter White's already thrown 2 pitches that haven't left the ballpark, so he's doing a little bit better than Santi did to lead off versus Opata last time out.
The 2-0 to Opata upstairs for ball 3, firmly in control now at the plate.
Of course, Drews is yet to get one in the strike zone.
And the 3-0 doesn't have to do too much on that plate appearance, and we saw this in Game 1 quite a bit with Jace Bowen up to bat and Andrew Sopata on base. Could spell trouble for Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah, part of Carter White's problem last year was his walks, and like we mentioned, not that many innings pitched, 19, but he had 11 walks in there, so he will give up a free pass to first base.
And the first pitch from White to Bowen, a strike, his first of the afternoon. Another pickoff attempt over there at first, but it gets away. That's trouble for LMU as Opata's going to go for 2, and he's going to stop in his tracks at third. And just like that, the momentum shifts in North Georgia's favor. And if you're going to throw to first for a pickoff attempt, it cannot get away if Opata's over there because he's going to get at least 2 bases out of that.
Yes, the first time we've seen that this series, and we've seen a lot of pickoffs over to first base, but That one detrimental for the Rail Splitters. Now Andrew Sopata standing on third base, nobody out. A contact machine and Jace Bowen at the plate, so.
Yeah, anything fair is almost guaranteed to score Opata.
Yeah, most definitely.
They do call strike 2.
Bit questionable right there, but.
The 0-2 to Bowen clips this one foul.
We saw Jace put together a really impressive at-bat in the last game that ended up double down the left field line.
Yeah, he's never going to be an easy out, no matter what, whether it's a full count or he's up or he's down. Takes ball 1 there. He just makes the perfect play almost 100% of the time. He's not too aggressive, but he's still, like we mentioned, one of the best hitters in the PBC. Fouls that one back, so he's going to get another attempt here.
Yeah, and you've seen his swing right there. Like I said earlier, his hands just stay in the zone for a really long time, and that makes it hard to actually get a pitch by him. And he can maneuver his bat up and down in the strike zone to just find a way to make contact.
Bowen pops this one up into left foul territory, shifting over to make the grab there for the Rail Splitters. Jordan makes the play.
Only one out, but you really, with how many times we saw North Georgia get in this exact scenario earlier today and not be able to bring this run home, it's a little concerning. Hopefully we don't see any of the same here in this one. Hopefully Phil can bring him home right here.
Yeah, LMU did a really good job in game 1 of leaving players stranded on base for North Georgia. We saw them work out of a bases-loaded jam. We've seen a couple instances where the Nighthawks had someone in scoring position. LMU took care of business.
Yeah, Phil did have an RBI single in the last game, his only hit in the earlier edition of LMU UNG today.
And the 1-1 to Phil gets away. Opata's going to take advantage of that, slides in, and he is safe. Opata taking advantage of some miscues from the infield for LMU, and the Nighthawks, just like that, tie it up at 1-1.
And that was a great job by Andrew Sopata. He saw that ball get away, and he instantly darted towards home. And by the time Mass got over there, the throw was going to have to be rushed, and it got away from Carter White. Without even getting a hit, North Georgia's right back into it.
Yeah, that just goes to show you the speed of Opata.
Yeah.
He was walked on his plate appearance, and they ended up scoring. So
yeah, got to first without a hit, got to third on miscue, and then got home on a wild pitch. So just – and that's what he brings to the table with his speed. I mean, you as a pitcher know that he's going to have that, and that makes it that much harder to try to lock in on your pitches.
Nighthawks still have room to work with 1 out. Ard does take strike 3. Very rarely do you see Phil walking back into the dugout. What he does here,
yeah,
that's a big strikeout there.
Like he might have disagreed there on the outer corner just a bit, but I think we've seen that a couple times already in this game. I think that outer edge is going to be fair game for these pitchers, at least to right-handed batters.
That's interesting, especially when the umpires, they tend to move positions here, so you'll see them shift in between these double headers. And like I said, we saw that a lot in the first game too, where that outer edge was fair game. And
Riley right there took that pitch a little inside, and he turned around and had a mini conversation with the umpire asking if that's going to be there all day. So I think we're going to get a bit of a bigger strike zone in this one. Umpire might have dinner reservations. 8 o'clock at Montaluce.
yeah, can you blame him?
No, I cannot. I cannot blame him.
Got lots of options down here. The 2-1 to Frost cuts it close for ball 3. The veteran in game 1 for North Georgia, 1 for 4 at the plate. And a double, also reached base on a walk. Takes the 3-1, grounds it up the left field line. Throw to first, gets it there on time as Kowalski makes the grab for out number 3. As we head into inning number 2. We are still tied up at 1-1, very similar to what we saw in game 1 of our doubleheader today. We'll see if we've got another close game on hand for you when we come back. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. The 6, 7, and 8 hole hitters due up in the lineup for LMU: Wong, Chastain, Dugan, and Fernandez. All set to get things rolling here for Lincoln Memorial in the top of the 2nd inning here at Bob Stein Stadium.
Wong Chastain 2 for 4 in that last game. Had a pretty good day, and when he got on base, you could tell that the Nighthawk pitching staff was really aware of him over there. Saw a lot of pickoffs over to first base, so they want to make sure that to start, you want to keep Wong Chastain off the base pads, but if he does get on, you know that they're going to keep close tabs on him over there.
Yeah, he definitely had those UNG pitchers' heads on a swivel in game 1. We'll see what he can do after about 45 minutes in between games against Earnhardt. His first pitch here in the 2nd is fouled.
Really a good first inning out of Luke Earnhardt. I mean, that double was an unfortunate circumstance in the ground ball, not necessarily hit too hard, just had eyes, found a hole, and brought a run in. So I think he's got to feel pretty good right now.
Takes one just outside of the zone for ball 1.
Early in this one, but that outer edge, I mean, we saw it called last inning. Not sure how far out that one missed. But he got back in there right there.
He's done a pretty good job of working his way after that 4-ball walk, working his way back into these counts. And the 1-2 from Earnhardt. This one takes an awkward bounce, and the throw to first makes it there on time. And nice hustle play there from Bryson Stripling to recognize the situation and to get the out.
That was an awesome play by Bryson Stripling. That ball bounced all the way over to the almost the warning track over there by the UNG dugout. He got it on the run and fired it over.
It's a pretty big luxury for North Georgia to have, being able to swap Stripling and Robish in and out into that catcher's position. We're going to see Robish in the lineup as the DH today, and a nice-looking pitch there from Earnhardt makes the count 0-1. But Coach Cantrell can really throw anybody out there, whether it's Robish or Stripling, into that position and have just a lot of confidence that they're going to get the job done.
Yeah, most definitely. That position is just really deep on this roster, and whoever they have in there, just you know they're going to be able to get the job done, whether it be Stripling, whether it be Robish. And Robish, obviously, with his bat, got the job done last game and promoted him to DH for this one.
Count's going to stay at 1-2 for C.J. Dugan. Dugan also moving up a little bit in the lineup as well, but he is struck out by Luke Earnhardt.
3 straight strikeouts for Earnhardt right now, looking to Epperson to end the first, and then Wong, Chastain, and Dugan both go down swinging. He's got that swing and miss pitch working right now.
He's got Fernandez for this matchup. Takes a strike there. And it's kind of typical from what we've seen from a lot of these pitchers for North Georgia where, maybe their first matchup or two, it hasn't really fared well for them trying to make these adjustments, and especially for a couple of these players making their North Georgia debuts or even their collegiate debuts. But, once they've started to get, about 10 pitches or so in, they've really started to click and figure things out.
What happened is Pierce Williams spoiled us last night
Yeah.
with that performance, and how can you follow that up?
Yeah, that's a tough performance to follow up there from Pierce. 7 strikeouts in 5 innings of work, and we know that he missed a majority of the last 2 seasons, but you wouldn't have thought that from his performance last night.
Good pitch at the bottom of the zone right there. Earnhardt looks really confident with his off-speed stuff, whether that be the changeup or the breaking ball, and that's going to be real important as we move on in this game. If you have those 2 pitches working, you can make your fastball work.
And the 2-2 from Earnhardt, grounded to short as Bowen gets it to Ard at first. That connection working there for North Georgia keeps LMU at bay, scoreless in the top of the first as we head to the bottom of the second in a tied 1-ball game between the Nighthawks and the Rail Splitters.
No matter how you connect, ETC delivers fast, reliable internet and secure, powerful Wi-Fi choices for your home. For intense gaming, easy sharing, and buffer-free streaming on every device all at once. With local experts ready to help. Connect to faster internet. Connect to awesome Wi-Fi. Connect to now. Call or visit etcnow.com to upgrade your internet today.
A 1-1 ball game headed into the bottom of the second inning. The home half here as North Georgia has a chance to try to take their first lead of today. Came away with that comfortable 9-1 win last night. Didn't lead for any of the game earlier today. This one tied up 1-1. We'll see what they can do here with the DH Kyle Robish up to bat here for North Georgia.
Yeah, and Robo had a great game last time, 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. Thought he might have gotten a little rally going there in the bottom of the 10th inning, but it was for naught. But he's rewarded by moving up to the 5th spot in this UNG lineup, so we're going to see if he can keep it hot against Carter White.
This is an interesting spot for him, too, because in the first game, we saw him in a lot of situations where there were 2 outs up on the board, and it kind of came down to him to extend these innings. But now with him in the 5 slot, gives him a little bit more leeway to experiment a little bit more and have Coach Cantrell maybe do a little bit of different stuff with him.
Yeah, and what it does is, you no longer have any restrictions on what you can go up there. You can go up there and swing for the fences if you feel like it.
And he did just that, but
about had a third double.
Yeah.
And he keeps putting him in that same spot, that left field corner. Been real effective for Robich.
And the right fielders in this game, Dugan and Bowman, not really having to do a ton over the course of these 2 games. It's really been the left fielders, Hall and Arisborough, who have had their work cut out for them. Same thing with the third and shortstop out here for LMU, as this one is belted into left field, and it is caught by Hall. Shifts over to make the grab, and we've seen a lot of Nighthawks. They just get underneath it, just maybe just a little bit more could have had a different result.
It's also our first weekend up here, and every time we see a good hit fly ball, I just hear everyone in the booth go, oh, it's gone. And I thought the same for that one for just a second. Died there towards the wall, but that was a really good swing. A lot of the same for Robish, just good power to the left side of the field.
If anything, it keeps LMU on their toes.
Yeah, absolutely, and it lets Carter White know that his pitches are a little hittable right now.
So that's going to bring up the aforementioned left fielder Jorge Arisborough, who has really put together a solid weekend of baseball, back-to-back games with multiple hits. He's got 4 in games 1 and 2 of this 4-game series.
Had 2 strikes on him in the blink of an eye in this at-bat.
He's got nobody on, skipper on deck, takes the 1-2, and takes it low for ball two to even up the count.
As you mentioned, one of the few Nighthawks to have multiple hits in both of the games. It's been really impressive for Respiro.
Good eye there to fill up the count. Another player who has not really shown any signs of rust, like we mentioned with Pierce Williams. Respiro missing back half of last season, and he is right back to where you expect him to be. Fouls this one into the dugout for LMU.
Good at bat here early in this game. This is going to be the 7th pitch from Carter White, and this early in the game, getting that pitch count up for this LMU starter, especially because they only went through 3 arms last game, is going to be a real big point of emphasis for UNG, I believe.
Payoff pitch and a swing for Respiro. Just tipped it foul, so he is going to get another opportunity here. Another payoff pitch to Respiro and another foul ball. Like I said, if anything, these Nighthawk batters are just making these pitchers for LMU tired, just wearing them out, and you're trying to make them go deeper into their bullpen than what we saw in Game 1.
Yeah, this is going to be the 9th pitch of the AB coming up here.
Payoff pitch just outside for ball 4. Nice eye by the vet as he makes his way to first.
That was a 9-pitch walk in an at-bat where Respiro got down 0-2 instantly. So 7 pitches just fighting, earning his walk. It's another situation, though, where that outer half in that first inning, it looked like we were going to get that all night. And now, back-to-back times, we've seen a pitch out there that wasn't called. So
just one of those instances where patience pays off. And you bring up one of the leaders in the PBC last year in sack bunts and sack flies. We could potentially, with 1 out up on the board, see what Brady Skipper decides to do here, but there's a chance that he at least able to get Respiro onto second. This one lost for a moment by Mast.
solid game for Skip last time out, too. Had a double, a single to start off his game. First 2 hits of the season for him.
Yeah, struggled a little bit in Game 1 on Friday and had a bounce back earlier this afternoon.
Also mixed in a sac fly and an RBI.
The 1-1 to Brady. Clips it close, and it's a nice job by Mass to prevent that one from getting out of hand.
That was a really nice job by Mass. That was a free trip to second base practically for Respiro if that wasn't picked.
And the 2-1. Big swing there from Brady, but count's going to be 2-2.
Yeah, real nice changeup, outer half.
Got Edwin Bowman on deck for North Georgia. White with his eye on first. And the pitch, another foul ball.
Carter White looked over at Jorge Respiro 4 times before he went that pitch, and Respiro immediately took off once he lifted his leg. Carter White might be the trend breaker of picking over to first base all the time in this series.
The 2-2 is another one low to Mast. And Respiro may not have to think about stealing second.
Yeah, going to go right here to get rid of the double play opportunity, you'd imagine.
And the payoff pitch. This one takes a bounce, and Respiro is going to make his way to third, slides in and gets there. A heads-up play by the veteran. Recognized that Mass just lost track of the ball for a moment and gave Respiro just enough time to get in scoring position.
Drews and Jorge both really heads-up base running plays that are going to give North Georgia a chance to score runs that you could almost say Carter White's not really giving up. I mean, he had the air and he had the wild pitch there, but, I mean, it's not really coming off contact. Still no hits for North Georgia, and we've got another runner waiting to come home as he gets his first mound visit.
And it's about the plate discipline. We mentioned in game one that Coach Cantrell really emphasizes for this team, and they're not going to take anything that they really shouldn't be, and it's been about those good eyes, and it's paid off here.
And there it was again, 2 strikes and just a great job of fighting and making Carter White throw a lot of pitches. I didn't keep track on that one, but it was quite a few.
And just like that, there is some action going on over there in the bullpen for the Rail Splitters, so we'll see how long of a leash that Carter White has in this ball game.
And that's the luxury, like I mentioned. I mean, they only used Jack Santee, Cooper Jones, and Aiden Carter last game, so they can quickly go to the bullpen. Make no mistake, you don't want someone warming up in the second inning ever, but if it must happen, at least you didn't burn through your guys in the last game.
Brings up Edwin Bowman, who takes one just outside of the zone for ball 1. You got to take advantage here if you're North Georgia. We mentioned this in the first inning, but leaving runners stranded is not the position you want to be in. Bowman takes the 1-0 again outside.
Yeah, they did it far too often in that first game. Bowman didn't have a great game earlier. He did have a sac fly and an RBI, but a chance here to really make up for it if he can drive a Respiro in from third base.
And the 2-0 to Bowman takes a big crack at it there.
Can't be mad at that swing on 2-0. Trying to do damage just a bit out front.
You've got a little bit of leeway here with just 1 out up on the board as he takes the 2-1 pitch. This one bounces and gets away. Skipper wisely goes to second. Arispero stays at third.
So now you're out of the double play opportunity. You're in a 3-1 count. Devin Bowman's in the driver's seat here. It's just a matter of what he's going to do with it. Ground ball to the right side should bring a run in. Infield not making any adjustments. First baseman looked like he was going to come in. He's going to come in a few steps, but not really playing up by any means.
And the 3-1. Again, good eye here by the Nighthawks.
3
loads up the
straight
bases.
walks out of Carter White now, and saw that mound visit 1 at bat ago. It looks like this could be it for him early.
Yeah, this may be enough for Coach Haywood and could potentially be the end of the evening here for White. As the infield comes in to talk some things over. We mentioned around North Georgia Athletics, very busy day for a lot of our UNG teams. North Georgia softball picked up their first win of the season and the first win for new head coach Brooke O'Hare of the softball program as they are over at the Gulf Shores Invitational right now trying to pick up some wins in Gulf Shores, Alabama. Not too far here from Dahlonega, and North Georgia women's basketball coming away with a win against Flagler about 30 minutes ago. Men's team in action right now as it looks like we are going to have a pitching substitution here for the Rail Splitters, and we will have that for you when we come back from this short commercial break on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through.
The whole day, every day, we're thinking about one thing, Georgia's hearts. While you're busy being you, we're working to make Georgia Heart Institute Georgia's #1 heart program. One of only 2 programs in the state offering robotic heart surgery as an alternative to open heart surgery. So whether you live in Atlanta or Athens, in the country or in town, the future of heart care is here for you today. We do it all because Georgia's hearts are always on our minds.
That old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
Georgia Heart Institute.
And an early pitching change here in the second inning for LMU as Coach Haywood goes to his bullpen to bring out the senior out of Louisville, Kentucky, Colin Murphy. Graduated from Trinity High School, posted a 2.75 ERA last season and across 16 appearances. Only not a typical starter for them, only started 2 games in 2024, 36 innings of work. Had 40 strikeouts in those 36 innings, so you like those numbers from the senior. We'll see what he can do here as LMU makes an early pitching change, hopefully one of the last for them if you're Coach Haywood.
Yeah, and make no mistake, his strikeout numbers are why he was brought into this spot. Bases juiced, only 1 away. Not the ideal spot to make your season debut, but as a senior, this is what you expect. You're a veteran in this program. You get the big moments like this, and they're definitely looking for him to get them out of a jam right here after 3 straight walks from Carter White. White had 4 walks, no hits given up in his 1 1/3 innings of work.
And the first pitch is going to be a strike to Bryson Stripling. So Murphy fresh into the game, and Bryson Stripling making his first batting appearance this afternoon. Got to see him in the opening day game yesterday. The 1-1-2 Stripling cuts it inside, a top right corner for strike 2.
He's gone to that slurve slider pitch 3 times now, and it looks really good. A lot of movement on that thing. It froze Stripling right there.
And the 1-2 fouled out of play. Expect probably another battle here for the Nighthawks and Stripling, trying to extend these at-bats. And you only got the 1 out, so there's not a whole lot of pressure on Stripling in this moment. You got Opata on deck.
Bryson just got 3 in the high 70s and then a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Nice job to fight that off.
The 1-2 as he slams this into center, and that is going to drop. Arisborough comes home, and Skipper comes home. The Nighthawks take their first lead tonight as they go up 3-1 against LMU, courtesy of Bryson Stripling. His first at-bat this afternoon, but he makes just the right play there.
That was a fantastic piece of hitting. Like I said, he got 3 of those breaking pitches. He then got 91 in on his hands that he was able to foul off. And then Murphy went right back to that breaking pitch, and he was just able to get enough on it to drop it out. Couldn't have thrown it out there better into center field. An out recorded on the play at third base, but 2 runs come across for North Georgia right there.
And so Bowman was out, as this is going to be grounded into shallow second, and Cantrell is going to leave Stripling at third. That one didn't leave the infield.
Robert, is that an infield single?
I think it is. Maybe we got to be in double digits.
We have to be in double digits. That at least has to be 10.
It's got to be.
Just for us, too. I don't even count at LMU's.
So that brings a dangerous hitter up in Bowen with a runner in scoring position, runners on the corners.
It's been 3 at-bats now since Bowen's gotten a hit. He's due.
He's definitely
Not many
due.
people you can say that for.
And another nice job there by Mass. He's had his work cut out for him, I think, in this game, where there's a couple of pitches to him that could have gotten away. A couple have. That one in the beginning of the game where Opata scored. The 1-0 is, again, outside.
And those 2 runs that came across are credited to Carter White, so he's going to end his day with 3 earned runs through an inning and a third of work.
Pickoff attempt over there at first. Again, you got to be locked in over there at first if you are Kowalski, which he has been for the most part. We've seen a lot of pickoff attempts with the handful of pitchers that he's seen this weekend. The last one, Opata made him pay. That one got away and was able to make it to third.
I think it's the first time we've seen that changeup out of Murphy right there. I've seen a lot of the breaking in the fastball, but that's one he hasn't revealed till right there to get back into the count with Jace Bowen.
And the 2-1 to Jace is again fouled out of play.
And he went back to it right there, so he likes that pitch in this spot. I imagine here he won't triple up, but never know.
Deuces across the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs for the junior. As he slams this one into left, and it is going to be caught by Hall. Takes a couple steps forward to make the grab, but not before North Georgia takes their first lead of the night, up 3-1 as we head to inning number 3 here in Game 2 of our doubleheader. We'll step aside for another short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
I pledge.
I pledged.
I pledge. I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Back with you here at Bob Stein Stadium. Now 5:15 as the sun is starting to set a little bit here in Dahlonega. Setting over Luke Earnhardt on the mound for North Georgia, the starter here in game number 3 of this 4-game series. Earnhardt with 3 strikeouts so far in this game, striking out 3 of the 8 batters that he's faced. Only allocated that 1 run to the Rail Splitters here to open up this game through the first 3 innings.
Yeah, he's been really good so far. And I mean, like we've mentioned a couple times, his double was unfortunate. The run scored on a ground ball that just had eyes. So he's been in command. He's looked really good, has these hitters off balance.
This one's going to be belted into the gap. Bowen makes a nice diving stop there, throws to first and gets the out. What a play by Jace Bowen.
That was fantastic all around. The play by Bowen into shallow left, the pick by Ard over there at first. That was a fantastic play all around.
We've seen a couple of baseballs, trickle over there into that area where the Nighthawks haven't been able to make a play. Great rebound there by Jace to make the connection with Ard. That was sort of a bang-bang 1-2 sort of play and gives us a pretty exciting first out here in the top of the 3rd.
Brooks Hagedorn's wondering what he has to do to get a base hit. Man.
That one cutting it close to Hall there as he shakes that one off. Rail Splitters return to the top of their batting order. Hall grounded out last time he was up to bat. The 2-0, a big swing there, but nothing to it as Earnhardt squeaks it past him for strike 1.
Yeah, really good location on that outer edge on that pitch. Knew that in 2-0 that Hall was going to be pretty aggressive with his swing, and another really good location there on the breaking pitch.
That one coming in at just over 74.5 miles an hour from Earnhardt. And the 2-2. This one low, so we got another full count for LMU.
Don't want to give Hall first base here, and if he has to get it, you want him to earn it. Definitely don't want to put him on 4 balls, knowing how effective he is when he gets on the base paths.
Takes the payoff pitch and swings at that one. Definitely one that he saw go past him.
Yeah, I think he made the decision to swing at that right when it came out of Luke's hand. It was a really good job actually getting the bat head out to it to keep it alive.
And a strikeout there from Earnhardt. A big one on the leadoff batter for LMU. That's the 4th of the night for Earnhardt.
Yeah, he looks really in control with that breaking pitch. Like I said earlier, he seems like he can just go to it whenever he wants to, and it's working. Even on that little foul tip over to the left side, it was a really good pitch. And he went back to it.
Yeah, Hull's been one of the most successful players at getting on base for LMU all weekend, and send him back. It's definitely a plus for Earnhardt, but he's got another big batter in Harvey.
Yeah, this middle of the LMU lineup's tough, so you want to make sure you get out of it here.
Grounds this one to third, throw to first, gets it there on time as Riley Frost comes over to make the play and gives us our third out in the top of the third. We're headed to the home half of the frame. North Georgia up 3-1 in this game. We'll see if they can extend that lead when we come back. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Bottom of the third inning. 3 runs up for North Georgia. Has them up over LMU, trying to rebound from that 4-6 loss about an hour and a half ago in game 1 of our doubleheader here at Bob Stein Stadium. It's going to be Philip Ard to lead things off here in the bottom of the third. Ard, Frost, and Robish all due up here for North Georgia in this inning.
Yeah, 3-4-5 here for North Georgia. Ard struck out looking his last time up.
And he's having some more conversations with the home plate ump. We know he definitely wasn't happy about the call last time he was up there.
Yeah. And I think what that consists of is he got struck out on that pitch on the outer corner all the way back in the first inning. And since then, we've seen some pitches out there that were called balls. He gets right back up and he gets that same call against him. So it's just is that there or not more than anything. It's not anything more than that.
The 1-1 to Phil as he blasts this into foul territory, and Rail Splitters aren't going to be able to make a play. It goes just over the netting here at the signer.
Because when you're as good of a hitter as Phil is, if you know what the zone is, that automatically gives you an advantage. If you are questioning a pitch that's a half inch off the plate for the whole game, it puts you at a disadvantage. So
the 1-2 to Phil is popped up high into shallow center. Infielders come in, and it's going to be Wong Shasteen to make the play. That's going to bring up the veteran Riley Frost back up to bat, grounded out in his first plate appearance in this game. They're going up against a pitcher here in LMU and has a lot of experience underneath his belt, Colin Murphy.
Yeah, I think Colin Murphy, one of the really high leverage arms in this bullpen, and that single that Bryson Strickling was able to throw into center field was a really big moment. I think LMU was fully anticipating Murphy to be able to get them out of that with no runs.
Murphy pitched in the SAC championship last year when LMU made that run. Took down number 1 Catawba en route to making their second consecutive appearance in the SAC championship game. 2-0 to Frost outside.
This LMU outfield is surrendering the left field corner to Riley Frost. Way to poke one over there, he'd easily have 2 bases.
Yeah, Hall shifting all the way over to that 365 marker. Got a lot of greenery over there if he's able to poke something down and left.
Interesting, because the third baseman is still really tight to the third base line.
And the 3-1 to Frost. Watches strike 2 go past him, and it's a good job by Murphy to work his way back into this count after Frost was up 3-0. And the payoff pitch. Frost watches ball 4 go past him. Gets a runner on first for the DH Robish.
Yeah, that one was just too far off the plate. A little bit closer, he might have gotten that call on the edge like he did against Phil a couple times, but that one just a little off, gives Riley Frost a trip down to first base, and now Kyle Robish, who we thought had a solo home run his last time up, gets another opportunity here.
Nighthawks only have 2 hits in this game, but every single inning they've had multiple runners on the bags. This one hit into the gap between second and first. Throw to second, gets there on time, and so does the throw to first. North Georgia had a couple double plays in the first game, and LMU responds with one of their own here in the third as we head out of the third inning to the fourth. North Georgia still leading this one 3-1. We'll step aside and be right back with you on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Welcome back, everybody, to the historic Bob Stein Stadium at Lynn Cottrell Park, nestled in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains up here in the Gold City of Dahlonega, Georgia. North Georgia leading this one 3-1 over LMU. Plenty of baseball still left to play in this one. Top of the fourth inning. It's going to be LMU back up to bat here. That's going to be Kowalski to lead things off for the Rail Splitters to start out this inning.
Yeah, going to have the 3-4-5 right here, but really no notes from Earnhardt so far. His 2 hits, not hard hit balls. He's gone 3 innings. He's racked up 4 strikeouts, only 1 run. North Georgia's offense has come to play so far through the first 3, so he's in good shape. This is a big inning. If he can get through the 3-4-5 here in the top of the 4th, that sets him up really well to make it through the 5th, and I don't know what Coach Contrell is going to do, but possibly the 6th. So we'll see, but it all starts right here with Alex Kowalski.
Earnhardt, another one of those players transferring down from Division I over to Division II, played at Middle Tennessee State at the Division I level and didn't get a ton of run there, and comes over to North Georgia. We mentioned had that connection with Josie Earnhardt, his sister who played for the women's basketball team under Coach Buffy, as this is fouled out of play. We've seen a lot of players for North Georgia. Obviously, it's early for Earnhardt, but a lot of players for Coach Cantrell's team who come here, then they didn't really necessarily get a chance at their last pit stop, but they come here and they really start to blossom. This one's belted over to short. Bowen is there, gets it to first. And another great play by Jace Bowen, who played a lot at third in the last few seasons. We saw a lot of Riley Frost over in at short, but Jace Bowen has really fit into that position nicely.
Yeah, he's done a really nice job fielding so far. That's 3rd put out in this game alone, so he's done a really nice job getting the job done. And obviously we saw that really hard play on Brooks Hagedorn earlier.
And we saw a lot of Riley over there at short. Like we mentioned the past couple years, he's gotten to share the field with his brother Connor, and Connor played over there at second after he graduated. Skipper taking over that position, but having those 2 brothers right next to each other on the field, it's just instant chemistry.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's chemistry that goes just beyond teammates, obviously, and it's quite the luxury for Coach Cantrell to have for a handful of seasons. This one's going to be grounded out to second. Skipper gets it to Art at first for out number 2.
Well, I'm really liking about Earnhardt's performance so far is every ball that's hit into play, really with the exception of Hagedorn's ground ball that was the play made by Skipper, they're all soft hit baseballs, and the defense isn't really having to make big plays. They're all pretty routine. And he looks really confident. Like we talked about, that breaking ball is really efficient. He can throw it in there whenever he needs to. His fastball's working. He's locating it well. I think these LMU hitters are right back in a situation where they're kind of guessing a bit.
Big swing of the ball there by the DH Epperson, but a miss to make the count 0-1. Yeah, he really hasn't taken any time to adjust here. He's
in a really good tempo, too. He's working quick. Epperson disagreed with that.
So a quick 0-2 count for Epperson. As Earnhardt delivers the pitch. Fouled. That one almost making its way to the soccer field over here to the left of us at Lynn Cottrell Park.
I think he wanted to bury that curveball a little bit more right there. Kind of threw his hand into his glove after that one. I think he was looking to put him away with a strikeout swinging.
The 0-2 from Earnhardt. Just outside that bottom left corner of the zone, it looked like. Pushes the count to 1-2. And the 1-2. This one takes a hop, skip, and a jump in front of Chase Bowen. No problem there to get the out. Leaving LMU off the scoreboard in the 4th. Takes us to the home half. Nighthawks still lead this one 3-1. We'll see what they can do when we come back from this short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. The left fielder, Jorge Arispero, is going to lead things off for North Georgia here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Arispero, Skipper, and Bowman all set to take a crack at it here against Murphy in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Arispero was the one that got that rally going for North Georgia back in the 2nd. Started the 3 walks in a row, scored on Bryson Stripling's single into center field. And again, down in the count early, he managed a 9-pitch AB last time up. We'll see if he has the same fate here.
Takes the 0-2, takes a crack at it there. Ball soars over the fans here at Bob Stein Stadium. So still an 0-2 count for Jorge. Takes the pitch just outside the right side of the zone. So now it's a 1-2 count for the vet.
And that's where the whole question of how far outside we're going is to the umpire is, do you swing at that pitch or do you take that pitch? Reesboro makes the decision to take there. And he was consistent with it right there. Same spot, same result.
Getting low into the pitch clock is Murphy, down to 5 seconds. Gets this one off, and Reesboro, again, battling here. And like you mentioned, he really worked for that last at-bat that he had. And, again, he is making Murphy work for it here.
This is going to be pitch 7. He saw 9 last time. Really just great ABs out of Reesboro.
And the 2-2. Crowd starting to get into it a little bit too. Get the double P signs from the home plate ump. Another 2-2 pitch coming to Reesboro. As this one is belted into center field and caught by Fernandez. Patience almost paying off there for Reesboro.
Yeah, it's still going to be a lot of high fives when he gets over into that dugout. Really nice job. Forced a lot of pitches again. I believe he's at 17 now and 2 at-bats, which is just fantastic work, averaging 8.5 per AB. And if every dude would do that, then you wouldn't even have an LMU bullpen to deal with tomorrow.
Nobody warming up right now for the Rail Splitters over there, just outside the left side of your screen.
You know, with how short Carter White went, obviously his command wasn't there, but I would imagine that Colin Murphy is going to eat up some innings right here. Obviously in his 3rd of work right now.
Skipper takes strike 2. A little bit of a close call there. So he gets the confirmation from the home plate ump. So an 0-2 count for Skip.
Murphy's been real solid getting ahead in the count, but his put away hasn't been there. UNG batters being able to foul it off, work deep into the counts, make him throw a lot of pitches.
Skipper been a consistent starter for this North Georgia team. Started all but one game last season. Takes the 0-2 low for ball 1. Had almost 100 more at-bats last year compared to his freshman campaign in 2023, and numbers went up consistently across the board.
Yeah,
they're one of those day-in, day-out starters like Opata or Frost or Bowen for this team.
Not much he could do right there. That was a great pitch from Colin Murphy. That looked good, and then all of a sudden it wasn't.
So it brings up another third-year player in Edwin Bowman. Majority of this North Georgia lineup in their 3rd and 4th collegiate seasons. Bowman, another one of those, who's also worked his way into a consistent starting role. This one takes a dribble to second. The throw to first gets there with the outstretched legs of Kowalski to make the play. So we head to inning number 5 here in game 2 of our doubleheader. Nighthawks maintaining that 3-1 lead. LMU looking to respond when we come back from this short commercial break on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network between a game and a series between a couple of programs that are very evenly matched. Here, both teams taking a game of this 4-game series. North Georgia maintaining this 3-1 lead over LMU, and last year both of these programs won 32 games. North Georgia 32-19, LMU 32-17. North Georgia capping out in the first round of the PBC tournament. LMU making it to the SAC championship for the second consecutive season, beat Tusculum in the opening and took down top-seeded Catawba in back-to-back games to earn their spot in the tournament championship against Wingate, and both of these teams looking to make even deeper runs. Neither was able to make it to the NCAA tournament, but they've got a lot of pieces this year to really make some noise come April and May.
Yeah, we talked about North Georgia having a lot of vets on this team, and talking with a few players on the team, they feel really poised to make a deep run. You know, they finishing 5th in the PBC last year. That's not the standard here. They think that they can really make some noise. They got some veteran bats. Obviously, they have some really good arms. It's our first time seeing Luke Earnhardt, but everything we've seen through 4 has been really impressive.
We've seen a lot of really impressive individual pitching performances this weekend from the Nighthawks. Of course, we've mentioned Pierce Williams time and time again in his fantastic performance yesterday. You got Earnhardt out here in Game 3 that has just been off to a really strong start through the first 5 innings.
And even in the loss earlier, Daniel Courtney did fantastic.
This one's hit deep into left. Arisborough makes about 7 or 8 steps forward to make the grab for the first out here in this game. And a couple of the reliever pitchers in that first game as well. You got to give your hats off to Zach Green and all the appearances from the pitchers in Game 1
Yeah, Zach
last
Green
night.
was fantastic. Courtney earlier today. Nathan Alexander earlier today. Just so many good arms.
And those veterans extending into the bullpen for North Georgia with players like Williams and Green and Courtney. Got Dylan Noche as well. We haven't seen him this weekend either. Another veteran. This one is going to be fouled out of play. Right fielder Dugan back up to bat. Second plate appearance was one of the strikeouts from Earnhardt last time he was up to bat, one of his 4 this evening.
Yeah, he's kind of hit a wall in the strikeouts. 5 straight batters retired without one, but even the Wang Chasteen flat line out right there wasn't a very hard hit ball, so still doing a really nice job of weak contact. But how about we get back on the strikeout train right here?
It definitely would be nice here in a 2-2 count. Could make something happen, but have a little bit of a timeout here from Dugan. The wind has dropped here at the Steiner as the sun starts to set. Starting to get a little bit cooler outside as well. Getting a little breeze up here in the press box too. It definitely must feel pretty good for the fans out here at the Steiner as well. Another great crowd on hand. A lot of people sticking around from Game 1 of our doubleheader. This one stays fair, takes a jump and a skip in front of Frost, who throws to first, and Ard cannot corral the ball in there. Negates what was a great play by Riley Frost. And a rare miscue from Philip Ard. He's usually on top of those.
Yeah, not something you usually see him miss, a pick over there. So it's going to bring the center fielder Fernandez, making his second plate appearance here in this game. Grounded out last time he was up to bat. Earnhardt got his eyes on first. A foul ball that Nighthawks will not be able to make a play on. Bounces just to the right of the dugout here for the home Hawks. And even on that E5 right there, it was just another soft hit ball. Throw just got away from Frost a little bit. Like to see Phil pick it, but tough play to make. Can roll 2 right here, especially with Earnhardt still getting a lot of weak contact on the ground.
This one fouled, trickles into the infield, so an 0-2 count. You'd like to see Earnhardt close it out here with one of these next couple of pitches and not get Hernandez back into the count.
Yeah, way ahead right here. Want to see him go to a pitch he really likes. It's been the breaking ball all night. Change up there, it looked like just a bit low. I talked earlier about if he could retire the 3-4-5, he'd be in a good spot to get through 6 innings. No one tossing in the UNG bullpen. So as of right now, it looks like Luke Earnhardt has the ball for the foreseeable future.
1-2 again, outside around the same spot.
Yeah. And
doesn't get Fernandez to bite.
That's really good. You're just trying to get a swing and a miss right there. That's all you're doing with that pitch, is trying to give him a swing over the top, give you a free strikeout. Now you really do a competitive pitch on 2-2.
Pitch comes, and they are going to call strike 3 as Earnhardt picks up yet another strikeout. 5 innings for the transfer and 4 strikeouts this evening. It's going to bring up the third baseman, Hagdorn. This one drops, but Stripling gets it to second, takes a bounce in front of Skipper. Going to advance the runner to potentially scoring position as Dugan made a break for it.
Rare miscue throwing a first pitch ball right there, but Luke tonight has just been fantastic. 66 pitches, 44 of them strikes. 2/3 of the time he's gone to the plate, he's been in the zone.
Going up against Hagdorn, a sophomore from Louisville, Kentucky, and Trinity High School. Third-year player.
Got a hit stolen from him last time.
Earnhardt delivers the 2-0, and again, Stripling throws to second, and same result as Dugan is safe, but that one a lot more of a closer call than the first.
They continue to test the UNG catchers, and at some point, I think they're going to regret it. Just a great throw down, great positioning there on Stripling's throw, and a nice job also by Brady Skipper to pick that and apply the tag just a half second too late.
And the 2-1 from Earnhardt. Big swing there by Hagdorn. Evens up the count.
That fastball up in the zone just looks so good. It's the perfect pitch to just drive out of the ballpark, and then all of a sudden your bat can't get up there.
Earnhardt still peeking over there at second. Delivers the 2-2. Just clips off the bat of Hagdorn. Didn't get a full swing on it. Didn't need to earn another appearance here up to bat.
Another one of those breaking pitches that Earnhardt's been really comfortable with. I think that one found a bit too much of the zone. It's another one he wanted to bury a little bit more. But he got the result. Obviously, Hagdorn wanted to swing at it.
Another 2-2 pitch and another strikeout for Luke Earnhardt, who is dealing in this game his 6th of the night. And it has been all about the transfer Luke Earnhardt from Rabun Gap. Has been dealing in this game. We'll see if the Nighthawk bats have an answer when we come back from this short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
At the heart of America's gold rush stands a beacon of leadership, tradition, and excellence. A university that has always led the way, forging an environment for broad-based academics, world-class athletics, and tomorrow's military leaders. The University of North Georgia. Learning and leadership. Passion and preparation. Transformation and tradition. We are the University of North Georgia.
Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network in the home half of the 5th inning. Nighthawks still maintaining that 3-1 lead. Haven't seen the bats come alive since first couple of innings here for North Georgia. We'll see if that changes. They've been able to keep LMU at bay due to the phenomenal play on the mound from Luke Earnhardt. 6 strikeouts in this game, only allowed 1 run in his 5 innings. Just a pair of hits, too, for Luke Earnhardt. He has been just another example of North Georgia pitcher who has had a phenomenal outing this weekend.
Well, we saw the short leash last game, and we're fully anticipating Earnhardt to at least start the 6th inning as finally somebody gets up and moving in the UNG bullpen, but Doesn't look to be a fast-paced warm-up by any means. He's just been fantastic, just really commanding his stuff. Like you said, 6 strikeouts, 1 earned run.
So it's going to bring the bottom of the batting order, Bryson Stripling, back up to bat here for North Georgia, his second appearance at the plate in this game. Responsible for one of the 2 North Georgia hits. It's been the 9-hole hitter in Stripling and then leadoff batter in Opata. Able to get those hits up on the board here for the Nighthawks.
Yeah, since then, Colin Murphy's really settled in. No hits for any of the North Georgia players since that Opata single. But Bryson Stripling, that 2 RBI knock into center field was just a great piece of hitting. He got some filthy off-speed from Murphy, and then he got 91 in on the hands. And Murphy went right back, outer edge of the plate with that breaking ball, and Stripling just put it into center field, swings through one right there, but responsible for North Georgia's lead.
Stripling now in his 2nd season with the Nighthawks, transferred in last year out of Georgia Highlands College. Takes the 1-2 inside for strike 3 as he makes his way back into the dugout and brings out the leadoff batter in Opata.
That one was...
I feel like it could have gone
out there. And calling that on the catcher is a whole different story, but is what it is. I digress. We move on.
Not so bad.
Andrews is a rally starter with 1 out.
Yeah. Opata, like we mentioned, responsible for just one of those 2 hits that North Georgia has in this ball game. Takes the 1-0 inside, just cuts it in at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, Murphy's definitely hit a groove here since the Stripling and Opata back-to-back singles. He's been pretty dominant.
The 1-1-2. Drews again gets it inside, gets him swinging. Push the count up into his favor at 1-2 for Murphy.
And we kind of expected that, you know. We said he's a senior. We said he has a lot of experience. He's a strikeout guy. This is what LMU brought him into this position to do, was eat up innings and really shut down North Georgia. He's been able to do it. Unfortunately for the Rail Splitters, Luke Earnhardt on the other end has just been phenomenal.
Yeah, this pitching duel over the last 3 innings has really been something to marvel at. A veteran and Murphy, as Opata again gets a good piece of that one but fouls it out of play.
A lot of fastballs here this AB. Wouldn't be surprised to see one of those breaking pitches. Here with 2 strikes out of the zone. With only 1 ball on him, you can really go anywhere with it.
That just goes to show you, no matter what your journey is coming up to this situation for both of these pitchers, if you can play, and both of these pitchers have come to play. Murphy, one of those players, like we mentioned, played in the SAC championship last year, pitched for LMU in a winner-go-home situation, and Earnhardt making his North Georgia debut, but both have really been the highlight pieces in this game. The 1-2 to Drews as he grounds this to short, and it's bobbled by Harvey. Andrews thought for a moment about making it to second as that one trickled into shallow center field. And that one a hard-hitting ball coming off the bat of Opata. It's always going to be a hard play to make if you're over there at short.
Yeah, most definitely is. And we hit a little short hop on him and just got right by Harvey over there at shortstop. Allows Opata to reach, and we've seen a couple times when Drews gets on base. We saw it in this game. There was a pickoff to first, went from first to third, and then scored on a wild pitch.
Of course, Opata is going to go to second. Was just about to say on this at-bat for Jace, you think Opata's going to make a break for it?
I'm a little surprised he went first pitch. Don't know if he saw something in that AB from Murphy, because Murphy went breaking pitch there, and Opata took off instantly.
One of the most aggressive base runners in the PBC as Jace grounds this into the gap in second. Opata is going to make his way home, and he gets there standing up as North Georgia takes the 4-1 lead, courtesy of Jace Bowen, trickling that one into right field. Mr. Consistency strikes again and gives North Georgia a little bit of extra cushion here in this one.
Colin Murphy really visibly frustrated out there on the mound with his second baseman, Archer Wong Shasteen, and he's lifted his head on that one, slipped right on the glove. That's such a routine play. You make it so many times that
Ard belts this one into shallow center. A long way to go for Fernandez. It drops in between the two rail splitters on that play as Jace makes his way to second. Ard now on first. And that could have been an easy out there for LMU, but
when it rains, it pours for Colin Murphy right now. Just air, soft bloop into center field. I mean, and he's been effective. 49 pitches, 35 of them strikes. He's done a really nice job. He's got an unearned run against him this inning. And now he's in the middle of this UNG lineup that smells blood in the water, looking to put this thing away in the middle innings like they did last night.
Frost pops this one up over to first. It's going to be caught by Kowalski as Ard had his hands over his head. So now with 2 outs, we'll see if Robo can start the rally.
Yeah, he's going to be looking to bounce back. Got into that double play to end the inning his last time up. He's got a fly out to left in that double play. So
very similar spot to where we saw him in previous games earlier today and yesterday. I should say earlier today, where he's been put in this situation with 2 outs trying to extend the inning, and he's got Ard over there in familiar territory over there on first, and Jace Bowen, who's still got a lot of speed over there on second. 1-0 fouled out of play. And the 1-1 from Murphy.
Nice pick by Mast behind the plate right there.
Yeah, Mast has done a really good job of keeping these base runners for North Georgia at bay, even on some pitches.
Yeah, he really has. That's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. That's a hard thing to pick.
We see some players going over to the bullpen for LMU to get some arms warmed up. Could potentially be seeing the end of the night for Colin Murphy if he's unable to keep Robish from getting on base, but he throws a strike there.
Yeah, 3-1 breaking pitch. Wasn't going to give Robo a chance to do anything with it. It's a big pitch. Runner's going to be going on movement.
And the payoff outside, and bases are juiced for Jorge Arispero.
Let's flash back. Arispero has seen 17 pitches in 2 at-bats, and Colin Murphy's really having to work right here in this bottom of the 5th inning. This is the last man he wants to see step into the batter's box, is a guy who's just been earning his ABs all night long.
Yeah, no matter what the outcome is here for North Georgia, obviously you want it to turn into runs, but Arispero is going to extend this as long as humanly possible on this at-bat.
With the way Luke's pitching right now, a couple runs here could make this a very tall task for LMU. Could also give you the flexibility to put another arm in if you wanted to on the North Georgia side. But of course that all bases off what Jorge does right here.
Aggressive on the first pitch. Puts him down in the count 0-1. Aggressive on back-to-back pitches, now down 0-2.
Well, why not? He's been so good with 2 strikes today that, I mean, now he's going to shorten up. He's going to do what he's been doing all night.
Last time he was up here was an 0-2 count.
Yeah, he's been all 0-2 all night, and he's been able to see a lot of pitches. So.
And the 0-2 to Arispero. Watches it go past him there. It was a good-looking pitch from Murphy.
Just a bit tall.
Got Skipper on deck. Here comes the 1-2 to Arispero, and a big strikeout there from Murphy. Leaves base runners on first, second, and third for North Georgia and keeps this a 4-1 ball game at the Steiner. LMU has some work to do in the top of the sixth when we come back from this short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network again. Glad to have you all with us tonight for our doubleheader here of North Georgia baseball. We've had a lot of action over the last couple of days, and we got even more for you in store tomorrow with the series finale to our 4-game series. First pitch set for 1 p.m. right back here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. It'll be Chris Hall to lead off this top of the sixth inning for LMU. That's got some work to do. This one's grounded into center, takes a bounce off of second, and Hall's going to make his way to second. A couple of Nighthawks in the area to make a play, but Hall gets 2 bases out of it.
It seems like when Luke Earnhardt gives up hits, they're really just unlucky for him. Let me take that back. That was a good piece of hit, and it was a single, but the 2 bags was a little unfortunate. But I don't expect it to rattle him. 3-run lead. You know, he's been in command all night. Still nobody, people going in the UNG bullpen, but not full throttle. So they still have the utmost confidence in Earnhardt to work out of this. And if he scores from second base, so what? You still have a 2-run lead. Just get the outs, get out of this, and take us on to the bottom half.
He's dealing with the top of the batting order here. The throw back to second doesn't get there on time as Harvey and Hall both hit the dirt there. A little sportsmanship shown by two number 9s out there. This is a pretty big matchup here for Luke Earnhardt with Harvey. Hasn't recorded a hit here in this game, but talked about it time and time again. If he goes a stretch where he hasn't gotten anything to go, he's due for something big.
Yeah, he's a really good hitter, and you usually can't keep really good hitters quiet for a long time. So, and this is the 3rd time through, 3rd time he's seen him. And that just speaks to the confidence his coaching staff has in Earnhardt more than anything. You know, no one's gotten that 3rd time through the lineup yet. And to do it against the top half, you know, they see something in this kid like we do. His off-speed's been really good. He's been able to place it low in the zone and keep it out of the danger zone. So
you could tell he just wants that pickoff over there at second, but instead will settle for the strike to Harvey to make it a 1-2 count.
It's a good trade-off.
Worst comes to worst, you know.
Yeah.
We'll just go up in the count.
We didn't get as majestic as a sunset tonight.
No, we did not, compared to what we had last night with the sun setting after the rain and Luke Earnhardt
got his
taking care of
majestic
business
strikeout.
here. Yeah, got a majestic looking strikeout. This may be the end of the night for him as Coach Cantrell comes out to the mound.
Just
would be a nice send-off for him.
Really great night out of Luke. Just fantastic.
Like Ryan mentioned, players are getting loose over there. just outside the right side of the screen in the bullpen.
It will not be it.
From the way he's playing, you feel like he could get through this top half of the sixth.
I'd be willing to bet that that was his call. I bet that was, what do you want? And he said, I want these next two batters. And with how he's pitched, you can't tell him no. You just can't. So, and you like to see that out of Coach Cantrell. You know, he's been doing this a long time. He knows when a guy's in a groove, and Luke Earnhardt's in a groove here tonight.
7 strikeouts for Luke Earnhardt in his Nighthawk debut. There's a nice-looking pitch right down the middle at 84 miles an hour to get a big swing, no contact from Kowalski.
So earlier in the game, I feel like we saw a lot more of the breaking pitch. Now we're seeing that change up a little bit more, kind of switching up what these LMU hitters have seen all night. He's just pulling the string on these guys at every avenue.
He's taking them off balance and having his way.
It's a complete guessing game up there right now for Kowalski. I mean, what do you even look for? Change up, fastball up, and
the 0-2 to Kowalski. Takes it low for ball 1. Still got Hall over there on second. The 1-2 and another strikeout for Earnhardt. 8 on the night for him. He's just been sensational.
Yeah, it's all working for him right now. That off-speed low in the zone, these guys, it's almost like they know it's coming, and they still just can't do anything with it. The bottom just falls off a table.
And if he's able to take care of business here, completely just negates Hall what he was able to do on the first at-bat that he saw in this top of the 6th inning. Still over there on second, a foul ball here.
I imagine that when he comes off this mound this inning, there'll be a pretty large eruption from the crowd here at Bob Stein Stadium.
They've been treated to some really nice pitching performances last night and today. Earnhardt delivers the 0-1 just upstairs.
I like that idea. He's really worked that off-speed low in the zone well, so if he can change elevation and eyesight on these hitters with that fastball up, they've been swinging under it quite a bit today. That one just got away from him a little bit.
And the 1-1 pitch. This one is going to be popped up into shallow right. Bowman is there to make the play. And that is going to take us to the home half of the 6th inning. Luke Earnhardt dealing 8 strikeouts for him as we go to the bottom half of the 6th. Nighthawks still leading this one 4-1. We'll see how the Bats capitalize when we come back. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Bottom of the 6th inning. A 4-1 lead for North Georgia. Bats came alive in the beginning of the game. Been a little bit quiet since then. But they've been able to keep LMU at bay due to what is a terrific send-off for Earnhardt in this one. 8 strikeouts. Really a masterclass performance from him. Couldn't have asked for anything better.
Yeah, phenomenal. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run that came in the first off a soft double and a ground ball that got through, 8 strikeouts, no walks. Didn't give up a single walk in his 6 innings of work. Just can't ask for much more.
He's a new face to this North Georgia program that has, a handful of pitchers that have played together for a lot of years, been on the same pitching staff for 3, almost 4 years at this point, and he's going to be a very welcome addition to this North Georgia squad. That gives potentially Coach Cantrell another option for one of those go-to Friday starters. Brady Skipper up to bat, takes ball 1.
And what it also does is it really makes your bullpen situation a positive after going through 7 arms in game 1 of this series. You just went 6 innings with your starter.
Skipper belts this one into right. This one's got a chance. It drops as Skipper turns on the wheels, gets to second, slides in. And the big bat of Brady gets 2 bags out of it. Another hit for North Georgia and puts a runner in scoring position for Edwin Bowman.
Good piece of hitting right there. Let the ball travel. Got a barrel on it, sent it out to right field on line. Now a chance for Edwin Bowman to get him over.
That one taking a nice bounce off the wall, too, as Bowman gets a piece of that one. It's going to drop into the glove of the center fielder and Fernandez. But Skipper, again, showing off the speed, slides into third. And pretty much anything that drops past third base is going to score Skipper from third if Bryson Stripling's able to make something happen.
And you can't ask for much more there out of Edwin Bowman than what he did. Fly out to center field, right center, got it deep enough so Skipper could advance to third base. Now Bryson Stripling with a chance to add to his already 2 RBI night. Had a strikeout looking his last time up. So he's looking to right the ship there and get another notch on his belt versus Colin Murphy.
And it could be tricky for a player like Stripling, kind of bounces, in and out, didn't play last game, back in this game, played Friday, and just really just maintaining his composure and maintaining his confidence, both up to bat and behind the plate.
Yeah, and we touched on it earlier, these catchers don't get as many reps in the batting cages as the position players, so not only is he going back and forth in the lineup, but he's also not getting those amount of reps off the field, but it just speaks testament to how good of a hitter he is to still be able to step in and make those kind of hits happen.
Really became a consistent starter about March of last year. Started every game from about mid-March till the end of the season. Again, that duel of him and Robish. It's like, take your pick. Behind the plate. Shows bunt here. Haven't seen one of those in
tried
quite
the
some time.
Suicide squeeze right there. Skipper broke from third base and just fouled on that first base line. Trying to manufacture runs. It feels like a much bigger lead than 3 runs, so North Georgia trying to extend right there.
It's still not too comfortable here, especially with how the last game went. You want to add a little bit more cushion here if you're North Georgia. Trying to do that with Stripling up to bat. Nice eye, takes ball 3, count runs full.
LMU infield playing just on the edge of the grass. Want to make sure that Skipper cannot score from third base on a ground ball.
And the full count. I'm going to say he did not swing. Ball 4 called. Runners are going to be on the corners. Could be trouble with Opata getting ready to step back into the batter's box.
That's a real nice job canceling that swing by Bryson Stripling. That's a nasty pitch. I mean, Murphy's had that all night, that slurve slider look. Now with 1 out, Opata obviously a tough player to double up. They're in double play depth. They're going to give it an effort, but. And out of the bullpen for Colin Murphy, 70 pitches now, so he has just been holding it down.
Yeah, both of these pitchers just been putting in work in this game for both sides.
With this out recorded, he's officially at 4 innings pitched out of the bullpen. And, you got to think that was partially the plan to go this long. If the starter White didn't do that great, we're going to let you go for a while. And
yeah, we saw him warming up early in the second inning, and we talked about it. It's never really a good sign to have to send players out there in the bullpen to get ready to go that early into the ball game. But the switch to Murphy is, for the most part, been a positive here in some aspects for LMU.
Yeah, getting really up there in that pitch count. That breaking ball that was so nice earlier in the game is starting to fade a little bit. It looks like he's losing the command on it a bit. They have a lefty rolling in the bullpen right now.
Throwing almost just as many pitches as Earnhardt and 2 less innings.
You got to imagine if Zapata gets on right here, they'll go to that lefty out of the bullpen to face Jace Bowen, the lefty.
Zapata up in the count 3-0. Not surprised to see him hold back there. Count moves to 3-1.
Yeah, got to make him prove he can throw one to you. He did it there. 3-1, of course. Got to be Drew's pitch.
And the 3-1 cuts it close for ball 4. And the bases are juiced for Bowen. With 1 out, too, North Georgia has a lot of leeway here. Again, we're into the mid stages of this game. This could potentially be North Georgia's breakout inning. Scored 2 runs in the bottom of the second. They've capped out at just 1 since then, and I think Coach Haywood knows that, and a pitching substitution looks like it is in order here for the Rail Splitters. So looks like this is the end of the night for Colin Murphy. Well, like we said, he's pitched a lot of balls here in this game. Has done pretty much everything he could out of the bullpen for LMU. Just in this situation specifically, want to get a fresh arm in there. If you're Coach Haywood, to try to weather this storm that could be Jace Bowen with the bases loaded. So we will step aside for this pitching change and have it when we come back on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Rail Splitters do, in fact, bring a lefty out of the bullpen. It's number 11, a senior out of Columbia, Kentucky, Landon Carter. Coming in relief here out of the bullpen for LMU. Trying to bring a fresh arm into the game. The bases loaded for the Nighthawks, and one of the best batters in the PBC, Jace Bowen, threatening to blow this game open for North Georgia if he's able to make something happen. Still with just 1 out up on the board. Things are really starting to tilt in North Georgia's direction here.
Yeah, they are. Book not closed just yet on Colin Murphy, as he's responsible for those 3 runners out on the base pads. They're going to turn to Landon Carter right here to try to right the ship, and a tough spot to do it. He's got Jace Bowen, who we've talked about being Mr. Consistency for quite a while. He reached on a pretty significant error out of Archer Wong Shastine his last time up.
Another thing to consider, Jace 0 for 3 in this game. He's due for something here. Was on fire in game 1 of this series, went 4 for 4 almost 24 hours ago on opening day. The 1-0 to Bowen. This one fouled right back into the dugout for LMU. The count's going to shift to 1-1.
Landon Carter, a career 6.60 ERA at Volunteer State with a whip of 1.50.
Cuts it close to Jason. You got to be careful here because you can't afford a walk either with the bases loaded. So
No,
you really got to be strategic here against Jace.
Yeah, nowhere to put him.
The 2-1 outside, and again, the Nighthawks not going to force anything that they don't have to. Jace, even though he's a great hitter, doesn't have to be aggressive.
Yeah, got to be selective right here.
And he is aggressive as this one is grounded to second, flip to second, gets there on time, but he does score a run to cushion this lead as Skipper comes home, and it's a 5-1 lead for the Nighthawks.
Really nice play out there at second base by Wong Shasteen. Kept it from being 2 runs. They were able to get the second out of the inning.
So they clear second. Bases still on the corners for North Georgia. Gives Art a crack at it here. 1 for 3 in this one. Takes a ball upstairs.
Phil singled his last time up, had a strikeout looking, and a pop out to the second baseman in his first 2 appearances, looking to drive in a run.
Takes one down the middle at 85 miles an hour.
He drove in a run earlier today, so another one of those would be nice. Just keep extending that lead.
Still would like to come away with more than just 1 run here in this inning. Couple more to play here. It's just in the bottom of the 6th, but you know, in baseball, the tide can turn just like that. LMU able to get a couple runners on base and could be looking at a completely different ball game. Let's see what Phil can do here as he fouls this one out of play. Count evens up at 2-2. Sun is almost set here in Dahlonega. The lights have come on at the Steiner. Back-to-back games under the lights here for the Nighthawks. This one upstairs and another full count.
Bowen going to be taking off from first base on this pitch. So something in the gap has a chance to score him as well, if Phil can poke one out there.
And the payoff pitch. Foul ball that almost makes its way over the net.
Tried to give us a souvenir.
Don't know if the wingspan out here in the press box could have made a play.
Our statistician Ryan Shee could have made a play.
Oh, I'm
sure. Reached out of the window. Taking him back to his playing days.
And Phil, with the great eye, takes ball 4, and again the bases are loaded. Another dangerous situation with Riley Frost just a year removed from being the RBI leader on this North Georgia team back in 2023. See if he can recapture some of that magic here on this at-bat. Still racked him up last year. Had a little bit more competition as he takes strike 1.
Well, he's in the cleanup spot for a reason. This exact reason, actually. Bases juiced. And if he could have a big swing here, even bring in 2, you got to think that could be the nail in the coffin late in this thing. Took a hack right there.
Yeah, he wants it. Now down in the count 0-2. Got Art on first, Bowen on second, Stripling out there on third. The 0-2 to Frost. Takes another close call, but it's going to go in his favor for ball 1.
Just missed below the zone. Looked like a good spot from up here, but no objections from anybody.
And the 1-2 as Frost gets a piece of it, and it's going to drop. This is going to score at least 2 runs for the Nighthawks, and it's going to be a 7-1 lead as Frost strikes again. right on cue, like you mentioned, slotted into the cleanup spot, does just the perfect thing there to add a little bit more insurance onto this lead for the Nighthawks.
Yeah, that was just a fantastic piece of hitting with 2 strikes, you know, behind in the count, and just got the job done, poked one into center field. Definitely not what LMU was looking for out of Landon Carter.
And once the Nighthawks have been at least a couple times through the lineup, they've had Lincoln Memorial's number. Takes a strike there is Kyle Robish.
Yeah, and it makes you think. I mean, obviously they've done a really nice job in this game and last night's game, hitting with runners in scoring position.
And Robish gets this one to trickle into left field. And it's a 2-out rally here for the Nighthawks. Now 4 runs up in this inning, and they're starting to run away with it. Now an 8-1 lead in this ball game as Kyle Robish keeps this inning alive.
Yeah, they got the ball rolling, and hard to stop now for the Rail Splitters. You know, these guys are seeing the ball well. They're putting the bat to the ball well. It's finding gaps in the defense. There's a lot of green space out there. North Georgia's doing a good job of finding it here in this 6th inning.
7 runs off of just 6 hits for the Nighthawks in this game. Make that 8 runs. And Arisborough gets a piece of that one. It will not drop. It goes into the glove of Kowalski for out number 3, but not before the Nighthawks pour on 4 runs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's an 8-1 lead for North Georgia as we step aside for another short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. As expected, North Georgia makes a call to the bullpen to bring out the freshman righty Chandler Thiel out of Woodstock, Georgia, and River Ridge High School. Another pitcher on this North Georgia team out of Woodstock and River Ridge, along with Ryan Taylor. He comes in relief for Earnhardt. It's going to be a tough task to, I think, match the production that Earnhardt had, but he's going to try and close this one out for North Georgia on the mound.
Yeah, Thiel, a Georgia High School Association first-team All-Region in 6A. He's also a Georgia Dugout Club All-State second-team member, so the freshman's got some accolades from his high school days. And so far, he's looked pretty good in this first AP.
Slinging it now, 0-2, up in the count. Delivers the 0-2 pitch outside for ball 1. It's Epperson up to bat. And the 1-2 from Thiel, they're going to say ball 2. And I think
really
a lot
good
of
pitch.
the Nighthawk faithful are ready to applaud there for strike 3.
Yeah, it looked like he clipped that corner really nicely.
This one's low, so we do have a full count.
Definitely don't want to lose him here. Had him down 0-2 in the count. You know, spot to put away. You obviously have those 2 to work with. Not a super competitive pitch there on 2-2, so need to get back in the zone right here.
And the payoff pitch. This one's going to be grounded into right. Gets past Ard. And Epperson's going to stop in his tracks at first as he records his first hit here in this game in the 4th for LMU.
Yeah, Phil gave all his effort over there at first base. Just snuck by him. Couldn't stop that one.
It's kind of expected to see that. You know, first appearance here in this game for Thiel, and you know, trying to sort of feel out what LMU is going to throw at you here. And you know, we've seen that from a lot of the pitchers here, even Williams and Earnhardt, who in their first matchup kind of sort and feel it out. They let up a walk or a couple of hits, and hopefully that's the same here for Thiel.
Yeah, he certainly has the luxury of having a 7-run lead. You know, we saw some freshmen get their first appearances last game, tied up in the 8th, 9th, and 10th innings. So for him, I think it's just important to make sure that single doesn't get into your head. You know, you had him 0-2, you were right there, just couldn't quite finish him off. You know, and that's a talented hitter in Austin Epperson. He's a 2-hole and a 5-hole. I mean, he's top of the lineup guy. So try to dig in right here, try to get a ground ball, let your defense work, roll 2.
The 1-1 from Thiel is going to be right. Stripling gathers, throws to second. Do they make the tag? Yes, they do. The heads-up play from Stripling to Skipper pays off. You can see them pointing at each other there. What a great play. And we've seen Stripling try to make that connection to Skipper over there at second a couple times. Hasn't been able to get it there in time, but he does there for the out to clear the bases.
Yeah, nice play. Pitch was in the dirt. Good job by Stripling to get to it quickly and fire accurately on the right side of the bag so the tag could be applied.
This one is hit into right, and the diving catch there is going to be made by Edwin Bowman.
Archer Wong-Chastain has had back-to-back lineouts. Real unfortunate.
It's a tough break there, but a great play by Bowman over there.
Great play by
Bowman. Right,
Bowman.
that's easily one that probably could have just dropped right in front of him.
Yeah, probably thought it was a little harder off the bat. Started to die out as it got out there and just was able to make a really excellent play, keep his eye on it.
You like to see Nighthawks keep that intensity and that hustle up.
Yeah, easy to get flat-footed with this big lead, game 2 of a doubleheader.
Trying to stay locked in here. The top of the 7th as Thiel delivers a strike. Evens up the count at 1-1. Got Fernandez on deck. 1-1 again. Just outside, and haven't had too many pitches from Thiel where they've been clearly outside of the zone. A lot of them just clipping left and right sides, but it's going to be a 2-1 count.
Yeah, that was another really good spot. Low and in. Thought he might have clipped it, but wasn't going for it.
Another bouncer to Skipper, and the connection to Ard at first is out number 3 as we head to the home half of the 7th. Time to get up and stretch here for the 7th inning stretch. We'll step aside for another short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network, bottom of the 7th inning. Is there really a better tradition in baseball than the 7th inning stretch?
My legs don't think so. They feel pretty solid now.
After a doubleheader, definitely needed, a couple toe touches, a couple lunges, just get the blood flowing.
Jog.
So we do have a new pitcher on the mound here for LMU heading into this inning. So a short-lived appearance on the mound for Carter. It's going to bring out another pitcher out of the bullpen for LMU. It's number 36, Easton Barnett, righty freshman out of Smyrna, Tennessee, and Stewart's Creek High School. A lot of youth on the mound for both of these teams. Another freshman coming out here for the Rail Splitters. Going to try to do his best to keep North Georgia at bay with the 8-1 lead that they already have.
Yeah, Carter didn't really do the greatest job. 2/3 of an inning pitched, an earned run, 2 hits against him. Wasn't able to strike anybody out and did give up a walk. So now they turn to Barnett. I think 8-1 ball game, he's just trying to get some reps in, get into the season, feel out what you got, try some pitches out.
So you got Brady Skipper going to lead things off here for the Nighthawks into the bottom half of their lineup. Got Skipper, Bowman, and Stripling. 7, 8, 9 hitters here for the Nighthawks as Skipper's looking for his second hit in this game, 1 for 2. Scored a couple of runs in this game as well. This one's going to be low and get away from the catcher to push the count to 2-0.
Skipper has a walk in his first AB in this game. And he's way ahead now, 3-0.
I'm 99.9% sure he's going to neglect to swing here. But you never know.
Well, you nailed it.
Don't think that was too much of a reach on that one.
We're baseball aficionados, man. We've got this down pat.
So Bowman is going to get a crack at it here with a base runner and Brady over on first. And a lot of these players in the starting lineup, we've mentioned this before, but Bowman and Skipper, Opata, Bowen, a lot of these players, are growing up together in their collegiate careers, all came in the same class in 2023, building up a lot of chemistry as Skipper makes his way to second, slides in. The tag does get there in time. Skipper, a pretty speedy player, but they get the best of him over there at second.
Yeah, real solid throw there out of Sam Mast on the money. Was able to get Brady Skipper. Interesting taking that bag up 7 here, but you like the aggressive nature out of North Georgia, not content with the lead. Maybe Evan Bowman can replace him over there on first base, getting solid knock, bring Stripling up again, who's had a really solid day.
Like we said, that goes back to the nature of today with the doubleheader. These players getting a lot of reps in. Skipper's been very active today, and definitely not seeing any lazy play here out of North Georgia, even with the lead that they have. Still like to see them aggressive out there.
It's real interesting with this lead that North Georgia has accumulated. They only have 6 hits. LMU has given them the free pass in the walk department. They have 10 walks in this game, so they've just been giving first base away to North Georgia, and it's really come back to bite them.
Strike 3 called as Bowen makes his way back to the dugout. And a good sight to see there from Barnett, getting his first strikeout as a rail splitter. So it's going to bring Bryson Stripling, the 9-hole hitter, up to bat as Barnett's trying to get a 3-up, 3-down here against North Georgia. Stripling does have a hit today. 6 Nighthawks in the hit column here in Game 2 of our doubleheader.
Feels like forever ago that Bryson Stripling got that 2-run single. And that was really what started it. You know, that gave North Georgia the first lead of the day in either game. And since then, they just ran with it.
1-1 to Stripling. Almost sinks back into the zone, but it's going to be a 2-1 count. The 2-1 to Stripling, fouled, and we got twos all around. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Number 2 up to bat. Got Drews on deck. The 2-2 to Stripling. Strike 3 called. Back-to-back strikeouts here from Barnett is how this 7th inning ends. We go to the top of the 8th. North Georgia still with the big 8-1 lead over LMU. Real Splitters got some work to do when we come back. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Back with you here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Sun has completely set, just about, maybe like 85% set here in Dahlonega. Another night game here on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Plenty of action going on this weekend on the NSN. Getting your fill of North Georgia baseball, really seeing what this program is going to have in store for you here this season. And they've looked really impressive. 2 out of the 3 games to start this series out have been all Nighthawks.
Yeah, they have, and even the loss earlier, I mean, the opportunities were there, just didn't quite seize them, and making sure they seize them in games 1 and 3, however. Steele stays out for his 2nd inning of work.
Still looking for his first strikeout tonight. Delivers a ball low there to even up the count. Got some players getting warmed up over there on the right in the bullpen for the Nighthawks, but if they're able to come out of this game with just 2 pitchers clocked out for the weekend, then that's going to be really, really beneficial going into this series finale tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, what Earnhardt did in this game, and if Theo can get through this 8th, what he's been able to do, you know, just minimizing after what happened in game number 1 with the quantity of arms that were used. And like we touched on, only 4 of them really are going to be out of commission. So there's still some fresh arms in there due to the short leash, but
so that is going to be ball 4. Now putting Fernandez on first. It's going to be Hagdorn up to bat.
that's the first walk that North Georgia has given up in this game through 7 innings on the mound.
Just a testament to how disciplined these pitchers have been, and really having their way with these batters for LMU, just forcing them into whatever they want. And
yeah, we talked about how Luke earlier was just working quick in the zone, first pitch strikes, getting ahead of hitters, and then that set up his off speed extremely nicely.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot from, I think, both sides tonight pitching, where pitchers are able to either get up in the count and these batters are starting to work their way back, or vice versa, where See a couple of 3-0 counts, 2-0 counts, and just like that, the count runs full. Right now, we're in a 2-1 count. But again, it's games like these for, I think, both sides of the ball. Even if LMU doesn't come away with a win tonight, you're still getting to throw a couple different pitchers out there, see what they're made of. Some of your freshmen who, may not get run later on in the season. This is just overall a good series, 4-game series, just to feel out what you got, especially from your bullpen. You're going to see a lot of the lineups remaining the same throughout these 4 games, but pitching a different story. This one is going to be hit into shallow right. Not too much going on there for Edwin Bowman to make the play for out number 1.
Be interesting to see if they let Thiel get to the top of this lineup. Looks like they're content with letting him throw to Chris Hall here. Again, with his speed, tough guy to double up. But you're looking for a ground ball right here.
I think that's the right move here, especially with the lead that you got. Put him in a tough spot early here, and Thiel trying to test him, but
yeah, give him those hard hitters. Make him work for it.
Hall just 1 for 3 in this game. Also struck out once, grounds it to short here. Double play potentially for the Nighthawks, and they cannot make it. They do get the out at second, are doing the splits. A great effort, but it's going to be 2 outs up on the board.
I told you, tough guy to double up. They almost got it done. They were really close, but not quite. But like you said, 2 outs. Nice job there. Eliminated the threat of Chris Hall. We've seen him hit the ball hard in the outfield a couple times. So right there, nice job to make him hit one pretty softly on the ground.
Harvey due for a hit, 0 for 3 here in this ball game. Fouls one off the pole here at the Steiner. And a big ding out of that one on the crowd mic.
Yeah, uncharacteristic out of Harvey so far, this 0 for 3 night. Had a few ground outs and a strikeout.
This one stays in play. The throw to first is going to be off the mark to Ard, and LMU is going to get runners on second and third. Because of that, we've seen a play earlier in this game kind of similar to that, where Ard had to make a tough play. Really wasn't going to be possible for him to do anything, and
yeah,
Nighthawks going to escape this without a run, but LMU threatening here in the top of the 8th.
And uncharacteristic as well out of Riley Frost over there at third base. 2 throwing errors in this game. I think that one might have been he wanted to go to second base, and when he got up and looked over there, realized he wasn't going to have a chance, so he had to make a bit of a last-second adjustment over to first, and that just sailed a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely looked like his first choice was second. Had his eyes locked on the base, but had to shift over. This one's going to drop just past second. It's going to score at least 1 run for LMU, and it's going to be 2. So the Rail Splitters do steal a couple back here from North Georgia to make this a 3-8 game. And now you got to wonder what the limit is here on Thiel.
Yeah, not really his fault. Obviously a soft hit ball up the middle right there. Looks like some encouraging claps from the dugout. So it looks like Thiel's going to get Sam Mast right here, and I think he should.
Yeah, as he
I think
should.
he deserves to get out of this inning. Was a play away.
These batters at the top of the lineup here for LMU, aggressive, doing anything they can just to give their team a chance to get back into this game. Still got a ways to go, but they're making up a little bit for it here in the top of the 8th. This one's going to clip Mast here. Not the result that you wanted if you're Coach Cantrell, and
I believe that's the first hit by pitch we've seen in this series so far.
It is, first one all weekend.
Yeah. Fortunately, that might be all she wrote for Chandler Thiel.
So now we're going to have runners on first and second as the Nighthawks are just 1 out away from getting into the bottom of the 8th. And we haven't seen the signal over to the bullpen quite yet. Coach Cantrell, usually when he's got his mind made up, he's halfway to the mound by the time he makes his decision and points over, but it's going to give Thiel the thumbs up here on this next at-bat.
A lot of trust in the freshman right here. And you like to see it. You know, as I said, I think he deserves to get out of this inning. He was a play away from getting out of it. And you have that 5-run lead still. I mean,
so you got Mast on first, Kowalski over there on second. This one drops, and the throw to first is not made at all by Stripling. You had a lot of oohs and ahs coming from the crowd saying to get it to first from Stripling. It could have been an easy out there, but
yeah,
I think that he was just...
I don't know if he didn't see it or if he didn't want to risk throwing it away in a 5-run game.
This one again, short the throw to second. Gets it there. Bowen slides into. Make sure that one didn't get past second base. Thiel, a couple of pitches outside the zone here.
Yeah, I'd like to see Thiel really lock in right here, get in the strike zone. Obviously easier said than done, especially with a talented hitter like Epperson, but
now Epperson up in the count 3-0. Could potentially load the bases here for Wong Shasteen.
And part of this is after that throwing error, you know, you give up that soft single and the hit by pitch, and now you're 3-0. Got back in the zone right there. It's just mental, you know. He expected he was out of the inning, and then all of a sudden he's throwing more pitches, and you know, it's a hard headspace to get yourself back into because they're on the mound really just locked in, and when you think you're out of it, that can go away real quick.
And just like that, he's worked his way into a full count. What was just moments ago, 3-0 count for Thiel. Now runs full. And the payoff pitch. It's going to be called ball 4. Felt like that one could have gone either way, but instead bases are juiced for Wong Shasteen.
Yeah, definitely no favors right there towards Chandler Thiel. Another one of those at the bottom of the zone that looked to be pretty good from up here, but looks like Thiel's still going to get it.
I saw Coach Cantrell come a little bit out of the dugout, but he looks like he was talking to Frost over there at third.
Fielding position situation.
This one outside for ball 1. Shasteen also in search of his first hit tonight. And this may do it for Thiel, and it is as Coach Cantrell makes his signal to the bullpen. And so a couple of tough breaks here for the freshman. It's going to be the end of the night for him. We'll see who Coach Cantrell pulls out of the bullpen here in this spot when we come back. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through.
The whole day, every day, we're thinking about one thing, Georgia's hearts. While you're busy being you, we're working to make Georgia Heart Institute Georgia's #1 heart program. One of only 2 programs in the state offering robotic heart surgery as an alternative to open heart surgery. So whether you live in Atlanta or Athens, in the country or in town, the future of heart care is here for you today. We do it all because Georgia's hearts are always on our minds.
That old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
Georgia Heart Institute.
So Coach Cantrell making a call to the bullpen, and out comes a veteran for the Nighthawks, the junior righty out of Athens, Georgia, North Oconee High School, Connor Harris, making his first appearance here in 2025 for the Nighthawks. And Coach Cantrell wanting to put a pitcher out there with a lot of experience he's had over the last 3 years for North Georgia in similar situations like this where we see him come in, 7th, 8th, 9th inning to try to close these games out. And we'll see if he can do the same here against LMU, threatening to steal some runs back here in this top of the 8th.
Yeah, you're still pretty comfortable in an 8-3 ball game, but crazy things happen in baseball, and if they can get a couple in right here, suddenly you're not as comfortable with your situation. But like you said, a veteran arm right here, and Connor Harris going to try to get the final out of the inning.
The 1-0 down the middle, a strike from Connor Harris. It's going to even up the count. The 1-1 from Harris, low for ball 2.
And really a tough situation to get thrown into right here. Bases loaded and had to come in a 1-0 count already.
Bit of a jam here with Wong Shasteen up to bat, delivers the 2-1, and gets it inside for a 2-2 count.
Wong Shasteen looked back at the umpire right there, questioning that outer edge again. It's been a theme in this one.
It's be a big out here for Connor Harris, who's able to get it done. Delivers the 2-2. This is going to be grounded into center field, scoring 2 runs here for LMU. And they have started to work their way right back into this ball game. What was once an 8-1 lead for North Georgia is now an 8-5 lead. Rail Splitters are doing their best to mount a comeback. 4 runs up here in the top of the 8th.
Yeah, this felt pretty certain coming into the top half of this inning, but all of a sudden things changing a bit here, and I think you're still pretty confident. 3-run lead with only 4 more outs to get, so I think right here you just got to tell your guys, just go make it happen.
This one's going to be grounded to Bowen at short, throws to second, makes the right play for out number 3. So LMU putting up their best inning of the weekend, a 4-run top of the 8th to cut this North Georgia lead to just 3 runs. It's 8-5 heading into the home half of the 8th. We'll step aside for a short commercial break on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
I pledge.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
We've got a little bit of a ball game on our hands here, folks. An 8-5 game between North Georgia and Lincoln Memorial. In the bottom of the 8th inning, Nighthawks trying to add a couple more insurance runs up on the board here. They thought they had enough going into the top of the 8th, but Lincoln Memorial trying to storm back here, put up 4 runs to get us to this 8-5 score we have up here in the home half of the 8th. And the Nighthawks, luckily in this situation, flip the batting order over, and you got the 1, 2, 3 batters, and Opata, Bowen, and Ard due up here in the bottom of the 8th. Really the most ideal situation for the Nighthawks, trying to get some runs back.
Yeah, you definitely got the right part of the order to get some of those back. Opata today, 1 for 2, reached on an error, has a pair of walks. Had that real impressive base running display back in the first inning where he got on a walk and then took the throwing error from Rail Splitters starter Carter White and then turn that into a run later on after the wild pitch.
I feel like we're going to have about 50 instances this season where you mention Opata and impressive base running in the same sentence.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong about that.
And his hitting's not too shabby either as he grounds this one into left field. Records another hit here in this game, his second in this nighttime game. To get to first, and again puts Bowen up to bat with Opata on base. And this is going to be North Georgia's bread and butter all season long, where the Nighthawks are confident, of course, that Opata is going to find a way to get on base. And you bring Jace Bowen up to bat, and a pickoff attempt over there at first. Bowen finished second in the PBC in hits just 2 seasons ago, had 71 hits back in 2023 in his freshman campaign. Didn't get to play a lot last season, was sidelined a lot due to injury. Another pickoff attempt at first.
Well, we saw Drews run in a 7-run game. I'm willing to bet he wants to run in this 3-run game now. And I think that LMU knows that same thing. Saw 2 pickoffs right there.
Now Bowen bunts. Could be a perfectly placed one. The throw to first does get it there in time, but the sack bunt still gets Opata in scoring position over there on second with Ard having a chance to send him home. Bowen, that was his 5th plate appearance, but still just a very unselfish player. Doesn't have a hit recorded in this game, but he's doing exactly what's asked of him. Perfectly placing that one to put the speedster and Opata on second.
Yeah, doing his part. You know, had an RBI his last AB right there, sacrificed to get Drews into scoring position, and we know how dangerous he is once he gets into scoring position. Now Phil with a chance to bring him around.
Skies this one into right center field. It's going to be caught by Dugan for out number 2. So quick plate appearance there by the junior. It's going to bring up the senior Riley Frost to try to extend this inning and send Opata home. Frost already does have a hit in this game, a couple RBIs as well.
Had that right on cue moment for me, talking about cleanup hitter. He brought 2 runs in. It's like the 99.9% sure he's not swinging good when they do the things we predict.
Something's almost a guarantee. Like Opata getting on base or Jace Bowen. You would think at least, finishing with a hit, but like we said in this game, 0 for 4 at the plate, technically in the stat sheet, but like we mentioned, still doing everything that's asked of him to execute here in this ballgame to get North Georgia in this position.
Still an RBI on that stat line, sacrifice, bunt, get the runner over, yeah. So, especially with the first 2 games he had, you can't complain about that day. I'm sure we'll get right back at him tomorrow with a multi-hit performance. And his defense, we haven't even mentioned that fantastic play he made it short in this quick run. So he's done more than his part today. He's been fantastic.
He's playing at short for the first time as a Nighthawk as well. We saw him play a little bit at short last season in the limited time that we saw from Jace Bowen in 2024, but seen him do a lot of work at third, especially in the 2023 season, and like you mentioned, just made a great play earlier in this game. A 3-1 to Frost, not doing a whole lot in that plate appearance. Extends this inning. And again, it just feels like Kyle Robish is in this situation in so many instances. 2 outs are up on the board. Got a couple runners on. And Robish was able to extend the inning last time he was in this situation. Let's see if he can do it again.
Yeah, got that RBI single his last time.
Takes one low. And that's definitely going to keep LMU on their toes as Mast just ripped off his face mask and was probably looking for Opata.
Yeah, nice job. He's done a great job both times he's been behind the plate. He knows how important it is keeping Drews over there at second base instead of letting him advance. 3 runs is a tall task in the top half of the 9th. Anything more than that gets even more difficult, obviously. So want to make sure they get out of this without giving up a run to the Nighthawks on the other side. Robo's been hot today.
Has earned this DH spot, but he does take strike one.
Yeah, dropped a 69-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch right in there on 2-0. Not necessarily what you're looking for at the plate.
And the 2-1 to Robo off the mark. Firmly in control. Potentially loading the bases for the vet Arisboro.
Wouldn't shock me to see a pretty big swing if he gets a fastball in the zone right here.
The 3-1 and right on cue slams this one into right, but into the glove of Dugan for out number 3. Got a lot of that one, but the perfect place at the right time for Dugan takes us to the top of the 9th inning. Nighthawks maintaining this 8-5 lead. LMU's going to be up to bat here when we come back from this short commercial break. You're watching North Georgia Baseball on the Nighthawk Sports Network. A little Sweet Caroline taking us in to the top of the 9th inning here at Bob Stein Stadium in Game 2 of our doubleheader on the Nighthawk Sports Network again. Glad to have all of you with us virtually all day here at Bob Stein Stadium, tuning in for all the action here that this North Georgia baseball team has put on for you today. And we've got even more action coming up tomorrow. Game 4 scheduled for 1 p.m. right back here at the Steiner. And these are the kinds of games that you want to see if you're North Georgia, just getting in as many reps as possible because they've got a big test coming up pretty early on in the season. And a couple games against Catawba, the number 4 team ranked in the country.
Yeah, it is a big series coming up, and you got to be happy with what you've seen out of the bats so far. And, you know, to bounce back from the missed opportunities earlier today is really a positive sign, you know, that they were able to just flush it and get out and do it again.
Back-to-back strikes from Connor Harris to start out this top of the 9th.
It's a really good spot on that fastball.
That one coming in at 83.5 miles an hour from the junior. Here comes the 0-2. This one just fouled. Took a couple bounces to the left side of the line, but trickles out of play. The count's going to stay at 0-2 for Fernandez. And LMU should theoretically get Hall at least one more shot at it here. But Connor Harris has some different plans as he picks up a strikeout, his first tonight, and a good start to this top of the 9th inning here for the Nighthawks.
Yeah, Harris looking for the save in this 3-run game. Got a nice strikeout there to open up the top of the 9th.
So now Hagdorn, the third baseman, rounding out the batting order here for LMU. Takes another strike from Connor Harris. Harris gets the signal, delivers the 0-1 pitch. This one popped up into right. Bowman is there, waves everybody off, makes the grab, and now the Nighthawks put 2 outs up on the board here in the top of the 9th. But they do give a chance to the leadoff batter, Hall, to try to extend this game. Hall 1 for 4 today. Nobody on for LMU. Harris delivers the pitch left and outside for ball 1.
Coach Cantrell not calling it a win just yet. Still got 2 arms over there throwing in the UNG bullpen, just 1 out away.
Can never be too safe, you know.
Can never be too safe. Connor Harris looks pretty solid at this moment. Good spot on that fastball, low in the zone.
And the 1-1 from Harris, just outside, pushes the count in favor of Hall at 2-1.
Look close to that same spot. I think that one was a bit lower. Good call to let that one go on by.
And the 2-1 from Harris, so they're going to say he swung. He did not. Count goes even more in Hall's favor at 3-1. Game is not over yet. Harris still trying to close things out here. Gets the signal, delivers the 3-1. A foul ball, count runs full. Harris doing a real nice job of working his way back into the count. Payoff pitch coming to Chris.
Yeah, don't want Chris Hall getting on base here. Obviously, we know that Harvey and Kowalski are 2 really good hitters. And still only 3 runs. You know, it feels close to wrapped up, but need 1 more pitch right here out of Connor Harris.
The payoff pitch. This one's belted into right center field. Gets down into the gap. Hall is going to safely stop in his tracks over there at first. So the game does stay alive for LMU. Hall strikes again with his 2nd hit in this one. And he has been their go-to guy at the top of the batting order this weekend. And like you mentioned, you know, Coach Cantrell can never be too sure. He's looking over at the bullpen, didn't make the signal, and yes, he does. So Connor Harris's night is going to be done here. Can imagine another veteran's going to come out of this bullpen for North Georgia as another pitching change is made. We'll have that substitution when we come back from this short commercial break on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
No matter how you connect, ETC delivers fast, reliable internet and secure, powerful Wi-Fi choices for your home. For intense gaming, easy sharing, and buffer-free streaming on every device, all at once. With local experts ready to help. Connect to faster internet. Connect to awesome Wi-Fi. Connect to now. Call or visit etcnow.com to upgrade your internet today.
Going to try to close this game out with their freshman out of LaGrange, Georgia, the righty Bryce Hubbard, is who Coach Cantrell goes to try to get this final out here against LMU.
Going to be a tough out to get. Caston Harvey, 0 for 4 today. He has 2 groundouts, a strikeout, and he reached on that error by Riley Frost that extended the inning.
So he is due for something here, unless Hubbard has other plans. One of those dual threat players for North Georgia as well. Listed as an infielder and a righty. This will be a ginormous out here with Harvey. We've mentioned him time and time again. This is probably the perfect player to be in this position for the Rail Splitters and Coach Justin Haywood.
Really just a great senior year out of Hubbard. A 1.26 ERA, 78 strikeouts, and 19 walks in 55 2/3 innings. So he's a shutdown guy. He has closer stuff. He's looking for the save right here to get this final out and send the Nighthawks home with a win and a chance to win the series tomorrow.
I've already seen him once already this weekend. We mentioned a top 150 high school player in the state of Georgia last year. Had a prolific 4 years in high school, and trying to translate that here to this Nighthawk program. He's got to get 1 out here with Harvey up to bat, Hall at first. And this is very similar to the setup we have for the Nighthawks with Opata and Bowen, where you have a speedster and Hall at the top of the lineup. Same thing with the Nighthawks and Opata, and then got almost an automatic hitter in your second slot with Harvey and Jace for North Georgia.
Yeah, Chris Hall over there on first base. His run means nothing in this moment. Don't expect him to get too big of a lead. Don't expect him to really run.
Pickoff attempt over there at first.
Hubbard's not going to forget about him over there. Keep him honest.
And the 1-0 pitch upstairs to Harvey. Shortstop now up in the count 2-0.
And he becomes an even more dangerous hitter now, this far ahead in the count.
2-0, keeping Hubbard honest. Gets back in the count 2-1.
Really good fastball right there. A little surprised that Harvey took, but assuming that he's waiting to get a strike.
Another pickoff attempt over there at first. Hubbard and the Nighthawks know at the speed of Hall. Hubbard delivers the 2-1, fouled just back towards the net. Twos across the board. Hubbard with a chance to close it out. Get the double P signs from the home plate ump. And the 2-2. This one fouled out of play. Nighthawks aren't going to be able to do anything there, and so we'll get another crack at it here at a 2-2 count. And the 2-2. Another foul ball. Harvey is going to work everything out of Hubbard on this one. Not going to be an easy out on this at-bat.
Making Bryce work for it quite a bit. I think he's thrown that fastball a couple times. Be a good spot to try to go low in the zone with an off-speed. See if he can get Harvey to swing over the top of it and finish this game out.
Delivers the 2-2. Low count fills up.
He gave an effort right there. Didn't get the location he was looking for. Bounced it. Bit better release point, and that could have been the pitch.
You've got Kowalski on deck, who's 2 for 4 in this game. With the home runs that LMU's been putting up here today, definitely want to keep that to a minimum. Hubbard delivers the pitch high for ball 4. That is going to put runners on first and second for Kowalski.
Yeah, that brings the tying run to the plate in Kowalski, and you know, it feels like 2 innings ago this wasn't even a thought, up 8-1, and you know, LMU just keeps clawing, keeps fighting, keeps drawing out good ABs.
Kowalski 2 for 4 today, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Him and Hall have been the most consistent hitters here in this game. He does take a strike from Hubbard. Now an 0-1 count.
Really good pitch on that outer half. Way to get ahead in this AB.
Hall on second, Harvey on first. Here comes the 0-1 from Hubbard. This one is hit deep into left. Arisborough is there, back at the wall, loses track of the ball. Gets it back in play, and the throw to home plate is not in time, as Stripling almost got a hold of it. That would have been your ball game. And LMU now 1 run away from tying this game up. Wow, just a crazy play there. Arisborough almost came up with that ball.
Yeah, he almost got there. Oh, great relay. Fantastic throw from Bowen over at shortstop. Just couldn't quite hang on to it at the plate.
So this is going to be another mound meeting here.
Now the nerves really ratchet up.
So trying to bring in a new pitcher here is Coach Cantrell. Another call to the bullpen. It's going to bring out another fresh arm here with 1 out. It's been a couple of pitchers here in this situation trying to close it out. They have been unable to do so. We'll have that pitching change back in a moment on the Nighthawk Sports Network. Another familiar face from this weekend back on the mound for North Georgia, number 14, Ryan Taylor, the junior righty out of Woodstock, Georgia, transfer from Gordon State into this Nighthawk program. We'll see if he can be the answer here for the Nighthawks, who have been just one out away from closing out this game, but LMU just not going away.
Yeah, no, they are not. They're pretty relentless right now, and we knew we'd get that. You know, we got to 2 outs, and you had Hall, Harvey, and Kowalski. Tough outs, and they're going to continue to be tough outs here with Sam Mass coming up to the plate. That relay was just so good from the Nighthawks. Rispero to Bowen almost was able to get him at the plate with Stripling, but
yeah, that was already going to be a tough play for Rispero to make, but almost came up with the ball, and it luckily didn't get too far away from him. The fact that he was able to get that to Bowen, and Bowen able to get that back to home plate so quickly to almost make the play. But alas, we still sit at this 8-7 ball game here as LMU putting up a pair of runs here in the top of the 9th, 4 in the 8th. Hadn't put up a run since the top of the 1st inning. Went scoreless until then and just come storming back here as the sun went down.
Yeah, you really want to end this thing right here for a lot of reasons. One of those, you really want to get Luke Earnhardt this win. He was so dominant through 6 innings. You know, if you can just get one more play right here out of somebody, one more good pitch, let's take it home.
So here's Mast. A big swing there from Mast, but nothing to it. Makes it an 0-1 count.
Great way to start the AB from Taylor. Good off-speed pitch. Mask like he was expecting fastball, and he was trying to crush it.
Delivers the 0-1 outside for ball 1. North Georgia trying to tighten up their late game execution. 1-1 count. Taylor got his eye on second. Delivers the 1-1. This one getting away from Stripling. The throw to third. Gets it there way on time. And that is going to be your ball game here at the Steiner. What a play from Stripling. Heads up, gets it to third. And that is a very fitting way for this game to end.
The first thing you learn as a base runner is absolutely do not make the last out of an inning at third base. And right there, last out of a ridiculous comeback effort by LMU was made at third base. Just unbelievable. Great throw by Bryson Stripling to nail him. He took off for third base, and I was truly in shock. There was no chance he made it.
Kowalski, risky play, going to third, and like you mentioned, it just negates what was a incredible comeback effort here from LMU in this ball game. Nighthawks are going to escape with the 8-7 win here in Game 3 of our 4-game series. And you mentioned him just a few moments ago. Got to give your flowers to Luke Earnhardt in this one. Played a phenomenal first 6 innings in this game.
Oh, absolutely. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, no walks. And that's the one that really stands out to me. You know, just no one got to first base without earning it against Luke today. Not many guys did, for what it's worth. But even the rest of the staff, you know, Chandler Thiel, that error really threw him off a little bit, but he was really good. He was in the strike zone. And Ryan Taylor comes in and got a bit of an easy one right there due to the base running blunder. But, yeah, it's a stressful win. Didn't feel like it'd be that stressful 2 innings ago, but here we are, got the win.
Scoring came from a flurry of different places. 6 out of the 9 starters in the Nighthawks starting lineup recording hits in this one. Got to give your credit to Jace Bowen as well with a flurry of just veteran plays, perfectly placed sack bunts and sack flies to get North Georgia into this position, as well as they come away with the 8-7 victory. Nighthawks can take a breath as they lead this series 2-1. Yes, we can. It has been such a pleasure to have all of you today for our doubleheader on the Nighthawk Sports Network. We hope to have you back tomorrow for the series finale at 1 p.m. Devin Kupka and Ryan Hutchison are going to be on the call for that one. It's going to be a game that you are not going to want to miss. On behalf of Ryan DiClemente, Ryan Hutchison, and the rest of the NSN team working hard behind the scenes to make this game possible, this is Robert DiClemente signing off. Again, your final score, North Georgia winning this one 8-7.